Wells, Overbay, Ruiz, Snyder, McDonald, and Phillips, with Aaron Hill 107th, batted in 5th in the American League.
So Jason Birkin, well, his first major league win was against the Blue Jays, and then he went 9 straight losses until he won his second major league win. You can see the difference. And then against the Jays, he's just been outstanding. He has struggled in his last 2 starts. They haven't scored any runs for him, but again, he's only gone 3 in 3 innings. A couple of home runs in Cleveland really hurt him. So again, he doesn't throw a whole lot, only 17, but just got a curveball and a slider up. And all of a sudden, and again, I don't think you want to do that against the Jays, because they have hit more home runs than anybody in baseball. And as you mentioned, Gary, they're 9-1 in their last 10 games. And they have 203 home runs, 3rd most in the American League.
And they are drilling the home runs here in this final month of the season. 46 home runs in the month of September. That set a new club record. So we are underway in a strike taken as the Orioles get out of that losing streak with a W last night at Tampa Bay. Jose Bautista, he's got a 6-game hit streak going. And Bautista will take the breaking ball that is in there for a strike. The Orioles against this Toronto team on the year, 6 wins and 9 losses, as the Orioles with a 3-game sweep here could even up the series on the year. Outside, Wieters bouncing out to get it at a 1-ball 2-strike count.
So Jason Birkin out of Clemson, and he's had, he had one of those tough years. Beat the Jays, lost 9 in a row, did not get him a lot of run support, didn't pitch as well as he would like, and he's a battler. And he knows what he has to do, and that is primarily, you got to use all your pitches, but you have to keep them down in the strike zone. And for him, it's just a little difficult. I think the description would be, and everybody I've talked to, fringe stuff. In other words, probably belongs in the big leagues, but got to prove he can start.
Fouls that one off outside of third base. Bautista will be followed by Hill and Encarnacion in this lineup. Kevin Millar, the former O, was going to be in the ball game. He was originally in the lineup, but that was a lineup that got changed at the last minute. 2-2 delivery on the way, right back to him. Birkin will make the play. Bautista's retired and 1 down.
We'll take a look at the defense for the Orioles behind Jason Birkin here at Camden Yards tonight. Montañez, Fiorentino, Markakis, that's your outfield. Wieters, he'll do the catching. Morris, is Turris, Roberts, and Michael Aubrey, who's gotten a chance to play a lot. He can throw some leather down at first base. Couple of home runs on the road trip.
A much more relaxed manager in the Orioles dugout for Dave Tremblay. Congratulations on the club picking up his option. He will be here to start next season, and we'll talk about that as we go along in our ball game. Andy McPhail is going to join us in the 2nd inning. The president of baseball operations, who made the announcement today for the O's. And Adam Jones is going to join us later in the ball game. Adam had been scheduled to come up just to say hello. So we'll get a player perspective from him, and as we move along in the ball game, talk a bit about the announcement today by the Orioles. Tremblay will be back. 2-0 delivery to Aaron Hill, down to third, Melvin Morrow. And throughout the weekend, certainly Melvin Morrow is going to be in the spotlight. It is not likely that Melvin will be back with the Orioles next year. We'll take a look more in depth tomorrow at the career with the Orioles, the numbers he has put up, the anchor that he has been at third base for the O's, as Melvin himself believes probably this is going to be it for the Orioles this weekend. Encarnacion goes to short with this one as Turris up with it, and Birkin starts it out with a 1-2-3 inning. When we come back, we'll take a look at the lineup for the O's. That's his Turris and Wieters, Markakis, Wigginton, and Mora, Aubrey, Montanez, and Fiorentino. Ty Wigginton a chance to play and do some big things. Last 10 games.
And our PNC scouting report, another lefty. The Orioles 22-37 against left-handed starters. First rounder back in 2004. He has worked his way up through the minor leagues. And then his last appearance against the Orioles, they got him a bunch of runs. He beat the Orioles on September 21st. Got all 4 pitches, but primarily fastball, and depending on the night, he'll throw a lot of changeups and the curveball and the slider to go with it.
And he will face Brian Roberts to start the ball game. 27-year-old right-hander against switch hitter Brian Roberts. For Brian, coming into the final weekend, 283. He, of course, is trying to hit that 60 mark in doubles. He's got 56. 60 would tie the all-time mark set in 1936 for doubles by a second baseman in a season, Charlie Gehringer.
Yeah, I talked to Brian last night, and he said, boy, I wasted that series down in Tampa. You know, he did have a 2-run home run. Not swinging the bat as well as he's certainly capable.
It's tough. Look, when you're going through the streak and it's the end of the season, I mean, all of them want to be professional, but it doesn't make it any easier going through that kind of a streak the Orioles are going through. Brian was 9 for 37 on the road trip. Not up in the air and no play.
Not a great road trip, but what I liked about it, and of course he did not have a very good Tampa 3 for 19, is that he was really playing with high energy. But again, it is the end of the season. I think for one thing, for Dave Tremblay, he really has to pick his spots and have Brian have the comfort of saying, you know what, hey, I'm a little bit gassed, I need to take a day off. And then of course the Orioles have to get somebody out that can take his place and still be very productive.
That's the depth that was talked about in the conference this afternoon with Andy McPhail, and we'll talk with him about that, saying that, you know, next year it's about wins and losses. And that to me was the most important thing he said. The most important change is going to be an attitude one. That it is, yeah, we're building, the Orioles are still building, and that will go on, but the W's now matter, starting with the next season. 2-2 delivery down to third. That's going to be a foul ball. And Andy said that what he does in the offseason or doesn't do is going to have an enormous impact, because he says everybody knows, he says the press knows, the fans know that we've got to fill some holes. First, third, right-handed power hitter, probably a starter. I mean, that's easy to say, you got those holes to fill, but trying to go out and do it.
Well, it is, and everybody takes an assessment, whether you're in the postseason or not, and how are we going to get better.
And they all want the same thing.
Yeah, and David, you know, you got to go out and, you know, the Orioles probably will say that Jim Johnson, even though he got a save last night as the Orioles broke that 13-game losing streak, is probably better than another fifth. So you got to get yourself a closer. So the David Ardsman, who was in the bullpen with the Red Sox, who has 37 saves with Seattle, you're going to be looking for guys like that.
Yep. 2-ball, 2-strike delivery on the way to Brian. That will miss outside. Roberts has a 2 for 6 against Percy in the times that he has faced him. Brian, the numbers this season are 291 right and 279 left. 15 of his 16 home runs have been hit from the left side of the plate. 3-2 delivery by Percy, and Roberts will pop that one up. Long at bat here. Phillips taking a look, but that's going to end up as a souvenir. And it'll stay 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Yeah, I talked to Brad Arnsberg, the pitching coach for the Jays, and he said good arm. Sometimes command goes in and out. I mean, this year primarily was down at AAA Las Vegas, where he was 9-6. But again, he's got good stuff, whether he commanded or not. How many times have we heard that? Great stuff, but can you make the pitches when you need to? Can you throw a strike here?
3-2 delivery on the way, and he walked him. So Brian Roberts will pick up the free pass leading off the inning.
Yeah, Birkin throws a bunch of ground balls, takes advantage of his defense. Right here, Snyder, Wells, Bautista. That's your outfield for the Jays tonight. Encarnacion, he'll play third base. McDonald, Hill, Overbay, and then Phillips will do the catching tonight. Rod Barajas having a terrific year, but he gets the night off.
And here is his Turris playing at short. His Turris 0 for 3. The only times he has faced Percy. Roberts on at first base, and the pitch is inside for a ball. Percy picked up his first win against the Orioles on September 21. 9-2 victory. He went 7 2/3 innings. Percy, as Jim said, had 24 starts at Las Vegas, and he had a 4.46 ERA to go along with that 9-6 mark. He is a first-round pick, 16th overall back in 2004. in the June draft. And that victory over the Orioles this year is his only mark against the O's. Phillips out to have a word with him. Phillips, a youngster, a young catcher, also called up from the minors. He's a rookie working behind the plate. And by the looks of it, getting calls over there in the dugout on what they want to do regarding Roberts at first base. You saw the catcher's head turned. The off-speed pitch is going to be in there for a strike. Bryan with 29 stolen bases, caught 7 times. Two ball, 1 strike count on his Taurus. Very little breeze, 65 degrees, cloudy skies, a nice evening. Pitch is taken inside, and he falls behind 3-1.
So right here, when you're trying to get out on top, give Jason Birkin maybe a little breathing room. It's important here to look for a certain area. If you're Cesar Asturis, you don't get your pitch here. A lot of pressure coming out of the bullpen for a young pitcher.
Good job.
Because right here, if he throws one out over the plate, what's your approach going to be? Up the middle, hit the ball to right field, advance the runner, try to get ahead, because you know the way that the Jays have been playing, they're going to put some runs on the board, even though Adam Lynn, after getting hit the other night after 3 home runs, is not playing.
Brian Roberts goes, and that'll be fouled off. Brian's not going to have a lot of stolen bases this year compared to his overall career numbers. As we said, he's got 29. Last year, Brian Roberts picked up 40 stolen bases, 50 the year before, 36 the year before that. So this is going to be the smallest number of stolen bases on the season for Brian over the last 4 years.
You would like to think that if the record was better, there would be more stolen bases. You need them.
I think that's fair, huh?
Yeah.
3-2, runner goes, hit in the air down the line, and that will be a foul ball.
Yeah, Dave Tremblay, it's kind of interesting. When we were in Cleveland, Rick Manning, a former player who does the color for the Indians, said, did the Orioles ever do anything? And now it's hard to, and you know, they don't really hit and run that much, and they don't steal a lot of bases. You know, Adam Jones early on stole some bases. Nick Markakis talked about it, hasn't done it to this point in the season, so we know he's not going to do a whole lot of running in the last 3 games. So that's part of the game where other teams, you see how well Tampa Bay is.
Runner going. Brian Roberts will make the turn. He's going to hold up as Snyder came in and got it in a hurry, but the Orioles have the first 2 on as Asturis delivers a single. They had given him the hole at short, big hole, and he hit it right through it.
Yeah, 3-2, and we've seen him when we talk about Percy, both of the first 2 hitters, you have to throw a strike. You cannot pitch to the lanes on the inside and the outside part of the plate when you keep going 3-2.
No, he's in trouble. Percy here in the first inning, 2 on, nobody out. Matt Wieters with a 4-game hit streak coming in, and the hottest of the Oriole hitters. Roberts jumping around at second, and Wieters will take it for a strike. Matt has hit safely in 20 of the last 26 games, a .365 average for the month of September, when he's in that number 3 hole, which he's been used in often, hitting .395 and hitting in that 3 hole again tonight. Percy with the 0-1 delivery to him, and Wieters on a high pitch, 0-2. Matt has come on with a flurry. He's now in contention for Rookie of the Year consideration. His batting average has moved up to the number 1 spot in that department, to the surprise, I think, of a lot of people who do not get to see him play daily. He just kind of all of a sudden showed up on that rookie list.
Well, he's made a nice adjustment, and take a look at who he's contending with. Nolan Reinbold shut down for the year for the Orioles with the Achilles problem that has been surgically repaired. Beckham, who was actually really having some good numbers, he got hurt. Andrus has stayed healthy all year long down in Texas, and Chris Getz, he's out for the year. He hasn't played much the last 2 months.
Porcello more and more as the rookie pitcher. He's going to get a lot of consideration. Here's the 0-2 delivery on the way. Swung on, hit in the air to right field. That is back near the wall. It will be hauled in by Bautista. Roberts will tag. He heads over to third base. First and third now with 1 away. Wieters retired on the fly ball to right. And that'll give the RBI chance to Nick Markakis.
Well, Nick needs 3 to 100. couple of years ago, 112 RBIs.
Very solid numbers on the season for the Orioles right fielder. It's just been a tough ending. 184 over the last 25 games. That's really the month of September. Only 2 extra base hits in the month of September and 8 RBIs, way below the numbers Nick's used to putting up, but they have not diminished some very solid season numbers. Pitch is taken away for a ball and a 1-0 count.
Yeah, think about it. It's 6 months, the baseball season. So if you can anywhere between 14 and 20 RBIs a month, you're going to be right around the 100. Sounds so simple.
Yeah.
Sometimes hard to do.
Nick 353 off left-handers. He's hit much better against the righties this year at 314. So your numbers down about 35 points against lefties from last year.
So once again, Kyle Phillips out to have a little conversation because the Orioles are getting a lot of good hitting counts here. If you told Dave Percy, what do you want to do? He said, well, I want to get ahead. I want to use all my pitches. And if I do, I can. If I'm behind, it's become very one-dimensional. Let's see if the Orioles can take advantage of that.
Percy has walked 29 now in 45 innings worked. 2-0 delivery on the way, and Markakis takes it outside. And he's trying to be fine, and as a result is not getting a strike. So now he's got 3-0. Do you give Markakis a green light early?
Well, we talked about that in Tampa Bay. I think, again, you have to know your players. We had a guy, Andres Moore, the best I ever saw, but he wasn't the caliber of Nick.
Yeah, you got a green light.
But see, that's not, I mean, if you look back, we go back and look at that swing, I mean, that's away. He was looking in. And if it's away, you usually take that pitch. You're usually looking to a specific area of the plate. So I don't think, didn't look very comfortable hitting 3-0 there.
3 ball, 1 strike count, 1 down. Roberts off third as Torres off first base. 3-1, runner goes, swung on and missed. Throw is not in time. And as Torres is going to get a stolen base. So the Orioles come out putting some movement on the base pass. Now they've got 2 in scoring position, 12 stolen bases.
And then for David Percy, I mean, he's going to get Markakis to swing through the second fastball in the middle of the plate. And you can see Phillips to throw high. Never could get it down.
2 RBIs sitting out there for Markakis.
Yeah, well, he drove in the first run down in Tampa Bay last night. Little single off the glove of the shortstop.
3-2 delivery to him, and it's foul back. He's hit Percy 3 hits and 5 at bats in the times he's faced him. And you know, despite the fact personal numbers give way to team numbers, at this point he knows where he is in the RBI hunt, and 3 shy with 3 games to go, and you got 2 sitting there.
Well, a ground ball to the right side, Gary, you know, is going to get a run, and everybody back. They're trying to keep both runs from scoring.
3-2 delivery, hit in the air, right center field. That is in the gap, way back at the wall. That's going to be up and over. It will be a ground rule double. So Nick Markakis will get number 98 as Brian Roberts will score. He will be closing in on the 100 mark with his 44th double of the season.
Yeah, watch this hanging curveball. Right to the bat head. Again, swung through 2 fastballs. We saw Garza do it to Fiorentino. They're late on your heater. You come back with a breaking ball. It's not a very good pitch, and Nick's all over it for a double. A couple of RBIs, 2-0 the Orioles.
So the stolen base mattered as far as getting that second RBI in. Now Markakis is running. Throw to third, and he's in. Do you get the feeling the naming of Dave Tremblay as the manager for next year has resulted in a decision that Tremblay's saying, you know something, why wait till April?
Well, I tell you what, I mean, Nick said he's going to steal bases. That's going to one thing. And right there, he didn't even look at him. This is what the Orioles have to do for 2010. You need to make the other clubs be aware of the fact that if you do not pay attention, if you don't play the game the way it's supposed to be played, you're going to take advantage of it.
Infield drawn in, runner coming. Picked up by McDonald's, got to go to first, and Markakis will score. Ty Wigginton gets the RBI, and the Orioles have a 3-0 lead. And that's why it matters.
Routine out if you don't steal the base. The Orioles, again, good teams, they take what the other team gives you. And there's a perfect example of it.
Now the Orioles coming out with guns ablazing here as they've got 3 runs in, a walk, 2 stolen bases, a couple of RBIs by Markakis to get him to 99 on the year, and an RBI by Ty Wigginton. Well, make note of something. Nick Markakis was one of the players who came out before the game in support of Dave Tremblay. He said, "I'm happy Dave's back. I think he deserved the chance." Fouled away, and Markakis gets on base and steals a base. Whether that has one adds up to the other, I don't know, but it happened. Melvin Mora with a 1-ball, 1-strike count. Mora's got a 4-game hit streak coming into this final weekend of the season. Melvin up to 260. Power numbers, of course, have been way down for him on the season.
Yeah, we were talking about it down in Tampa Bay. Of course, when you're 37, that usually indicates you can't play anymore. That's what the consensus is. And if you're 27, you're having a bad year. And that is one of the things. So if he does play next year, whether he would come back as a utility player here or whatever the case, go somewhere else, he's going to have to prove he can still play. That's just the way the game is. And he's well aware of that.
Melvin's see the numbers this season. 23 home runs down to 8, 104 RBIs down to 47. Or takes that one down the right side. And he is finishing though with some pretty good numbers. Melvin's had a good September, finishing with a 4-game hit streak. So he's doing what he needs to do, at least at the end.
Yeah, and you know, he did have shoulder surgery, right shoulder, but that second half last year he drove in as many runs as anybody. 58 in 47 games. Just a terrific second half.
2-2 delivery. Well, Percy got himself in trouble with a leadoff walk. Brian Roberts, who would score. Then as Torres on the base hit, not paying attention, as Torres able to steal. Same thing after Markakis got the 2 RBI double. Nick was able to take off, steal a base, and the Orioles have a 3-0 lead on just 2 hits in the inning. Here's the 2-2 delivery, and again Melvin Mora fights it foul.
And it all started with Jason Burkett marching out there against a team that's won 9 out of the last 10 games, and they scored 31 runs in 3 games up in Toronto and get 1-2-3 first inning. That sets the table. Boy, again, as you look towards 2010, we like to have that happen a lot. And for Burkett, that's one of his toughest innings.
Dave Tremblay's repeatedly said that very thing. The starting pitcher sets the tone for the entire ball game, and early on, if you get behind, it isn't a good tone. If you can come out of there 1-2-3 in the first, the offense gets on in a hurry, and you're on your way. 3-2 delivery to Melvin Mora, and he took that one up high, and Percy's having a real tough first inning. 2 walks.
Well, what we've seen is, and we've seen it with a lot of young pitchers for the Orioles, is where you have pretty good stuff. You know, maybe his stuff is not overwhelming, but he's got 4 pitches, and because he's been behind everybody, he's never been able to use them. And when he did, the curveball to Markakis was right down the middle, and it was slapped up the gap for a double. Scored 2 runs.
Michael Aubrey again playing at first base tonight. Aubrey's had limited chances overall, much less against the left-handers. He is 3 for 14 against left-handed pitching.
And there, Percy dropped his arm. Phillips said, "Get it up." Gave him that familiar "hit your arm up," which catchers do, and then Brad Arnsberg out to talk to him. Not the guy that the Orioles saw back when he beat him in Toronto. It's the one thing when you look at the Blue Jays, not a very good road team. Of course, there aren't a whole lot of good road teams in the American League.
And it's been about winning at home this season. Yeah. Toronto 44-37 at home, and reverse it on the road. 31 wins on the road and 47 losses. Their road record. The Orioles, of course, have had the same situation. 36-42 at home. That ball by Aubrey will go out to left field, not deep. Snyder is under it, and he's got it to retire the side with a solid first inning. 2 RBIs for Markakis, 1 for Wigginton, and a 3-0 lead. win $99 worth of American Classic scratch-off tickets from the Maryland Lottery for every Oriole home run hit tonight. You can have a chance to win too. Enter by logging in MASNsports.com. Orioles with the early lead over the weekend. We'll be showing you some of the memorable moments from the 2009 season as we go along in our broadcasts here on MASN. For Birkin, a 3-0 lead to work with. It'll be Wells, Overbay, and Ruiz coming up. Vernon Wells, another solid season with some big numbers for this veteran. 15 homers, 66 RBI, average down. And he will take the pitch for a strike. Wells is finishing up .371 over the last 24 games. His next home run. He will be number 1 on the all-time home run list for a Toronto outfielder. Check swing. Did he go? Yes. Home plate umpire the call. 0-2.
Yeah, the one thing he's been able to do is stay healthy. He's had all kinds of. Well, he had some thumb injuries about 3-4 years ago after he signed the 7-year deal. Right there you can see the bat ball out in front of the plate. Hamstring problems the last couple of years.
0-2 delivery to him. A chopper that came off the plate. Melvin Mora has it, guns it, and gets it.
Well, I'll tell you right now, Jason Birkin had thrown a fastball in that situation with that kind of movement all year long. He would not be struggling the way he is. I mean, tremendous pitches and good movement. Wells, I mean, you don't see him take too many swings like this. He gets ahead and then he makes the perfect pitch.
Birkin gets the out, 4 in a row retired. That'll bring up Lyle Overbay. There are the numbers with the 16 homers, 64 RBIs. Hit .270 last year, and he's hitting .270 this year. And the pitch will be taken for a strike. He has been Mr. Consistency over the last 2 seasons with Toronto as far as the numbers are concerned. He is 2 for 5 off Birkin. And Birkin's delivery will miss. 1 ball, 1 strike. Right-handers, 1-1 delivery. Towards short is Turris. Couple of quick outs, second inning. Fan Appreciation Weekend continues tomorrow and Sunday here at Oriole Park. You can close out the 09 season with one more day or night at Camden Yards. Each game this weekend, all fans receive the scratch-off gift card from Outback Steakhouse, giving away more than $300,000 in offers through the weekend. So we hope you'll join in. 888-848-BIRD or Orioles.com. Fans will be selected each ball game to go out on the field with the players when the national anthem is performed. Stand with the player at their position. Fan being selected to throw out the first pitch. Fans will be selected to receive Oriole jerseys right off the backs of the players. That will go on for, it did tonight and for Saturday and Sunday. I hope you'll come out and enjoy it. Pitch is taken down low and a 1 ball, 1 strike count. Designated hitter Ruiz. A lot of call-up players obviously playing on this ball club as well. This is a veteran player who was named the Pacific Coast League MVP and leading Las Vegas. He led the league in RBIs, 106, 43 doubles, 70 extra base hits, all best in the Pacific Coast League.
Yeah, big, strong right-handed hitter, and you could tell from the first cut. Better stay out of that zone.
1-2 delivery, popped it up, shallow right field. Nick Markakis. 6 in a row, retired by Jason Birkin. President of Baseball Operations for the Orioles, Andy McPhail, is going to be joining us. McPhail, the president of baseball operations for the Orioles, announcing today that the manager, Dave Tremblay, the option picked up. He is going to be back. Andy, without really asking a question, fans watching, if you directly to them, what would you say to the fans about the decision made today?
Well, I would say in large part, Gary, it was really a reflection of what Dave's primary task was over the course of these first 2 seasons, and that was to create an environment to try to nurture and develop as many young, talented players as we could. When we embarked on this process and made the trades we made a commitment to our system to try to get as much young talent in there as we possibly could. We knew when we made the trades that we did that it was going to be at a short-term pain to us. So the one-loss record, while obviously it's important, the primary job was to get as many talented young kids up here and have them grow and develop as major league players. And in our judgment, he did that. He absolutely did those things that were important. We introduced 8 new kids this year that all improved and got better in our judgment. Next year, the focus shifts a little bit. Now he'll be judged more on the traditional basis of a manager, the wins and losses, but he fulfilled those things that we asked him to do initially.
Okay. One down here, the Orioles up 3-0. You had a chance for the lefty against left-hander.
Well, you also talked in the press conference of trying to find a first baseman, third baseman. I guess ideally you'd like to have Huff's production from last year, where he led the American League in extra base hits, and then Melvin Moore have that kind of second half, and maybe get a Dave Ardsman who has 37 saves, a guy that's just kind of a journeyman reliever. So you'll be looking to try to do that in the offseason? I
think it's important we try to support him. We do recognize it. In my view, it's time for us to make significant movement upward in the standings next year. We invested the 2 years we had to invest to make the franchise more populated with talented players. Now it's time to do what we can to move up in the standings. And we know we have some holes we need to fill. We'd love to get that production that we got from Melvin and from Aubrey in 2008. They both gave us over 100 RBIs. I think that helped, and we're going to have to look to see what we can do on the corners to try to augment our lineup.
Let me ask, was there anything you had to hear from Dave in your discussions with him lately before a decision was made in order to go forward and say yes?
Gary, I would say it's closer to the opposite. It's the things I didn't hear. Oh, everybody's hurt. Oh, we had to shut down Matta. So I think he went through a very tough 2 weeks and handled himself as well as one could possibly ask.
All right. We appreciate you coming in. Congratulations. I know now you move on to, as you said, phase 2.
Yeah, it's time for us to get to work in the front office now.
That's all right. Eddie McPhail, who's in charge of baseball operations for the Orioles, on the announcement today that Dave Tremblay would be back. Another solid inning. It is a 3-0 O's lead.
In 2010, and it was met with mixed reaction in the clubhouse, but as Matt Wieters pointed out, regardless of who the manager is next year, it's up to the players to win.
A manager, I mean, he manages the game, but at the same time, players got to play, and players win and lose the games, and the manager's there to sort of put you in the best situations you can be in.
So the bottom line is the attitude needs to change within the players in the clubhouse if they're going to win. Doesn't matter who the manager is. That's what some of the players were telling me today, Gary.
In the end, the manager doesn't hit, run, pitch, steal, or anything else. There is an attitude that has to be set, certainly, but the players do have to go out and perform.
Well, it's my opinion that you have to get your core players, and I think we all know who they are. Brian Roberts and Nick Markakis to lead the parade. It's pretty much, it's not simple, but they understand how to play the game, and they have to play at their best and make everybody follow the leader. That's what Joe Torre did. He got those core guys, the O'Neills, the Tino Martinez, the Derek Jeters. Of course, Jeter was a rookie when those guys led the way, and that's what's going to happen. And then you have to get some more talent.
Yep, no question.
And I think there has to be, and hopefully this will be done, that Jason Birkin, who's pitching great tonight, you're going to have to tell everybody that was here this year that they have to come to spring training in the best shape. We're not letting guys out of shape walk in and expect to make the team. Nick Markakis, he's going to do what he said he was going to do, steal some bases. You know he's going to show up and he's going to hit around 20 home runs, hopefully more, hit around 300, driving a lot of runs, a Gold Glove for the right fielder. But again, the way he plays the game and the way they talk it up in the locker room has a lot to do with winning.
McDonald,
that attitude you talked about.
Right. McDonald will take the pitch away. 1 down, nobody on. Birkin has retired 7 in a row. Bottom third of the order here. McDonald, the shortstop. And he'll foul that one away.
And I think that maybe Jason Birkin passed Roy Halladay in the hallway because 6 of those 7 outs are grounders.
Just don't make a lot of judgments in the last week of a regular season when 2 teams are out of it. That's the only thing I always say to be remembered. You want them doing this, you want them to be successful, but look, Toronto's coming in here, they're swinging at first pitches, and let's get this over with.
Oh, you're right. And I think that Rick Kranitz, the pitching coach with the Orioles, and it will be interesting to see how many coaches come back. He made it very clear it's about making quality pitches.
That one lined to center, and there's the first hit for Toronto.
Because when Jason Birkin gets in those situations where he has to throw a strike and he's in the middle of the plate, that's when what all the scouts say the fringe stuff comes in. He doesn't have enough movement. So that's just a matter of getting ahead, getting behind, and then having to, with a 3-run lead, throw a pitch, and you saw the result.
1 on, 1 down. Adam Jones will be coming up to join us in the broadcast around the last of the 4th or 5th inning. Sit in with us. We'll chat about how he's doing, plans for the off season, and the managerial announcement today. Here's Kyle Phillips. Phillips is doing the catching. Phillips, another one of the rookies called up from Las Vegas. Their AAA ball club came up on the 7th of September. 76 games there, hit an even 300, 8 home runs, 29 RBIs. Fouls that one back into the screen. Phillips a 1-ball, 1-strike count. This Birkin's facing a lineup, as we mentioned, they've won 6 in a row. They beat the Red Sox, outscoring them 31-12 in 3 games. They've had 10 home runs in the last 2 games against Boston. 10. That one to second base. Brian Roberts, his Taurus 1. Taylor made. Double play hit into, so the first time through on the 9th face by Birkin, and the Orioles have a 3-0 lead. Book your next trip at southwest.com. And by PNC. PNC leading the way. Orioles leading the way in this early fall evening. A 3-0 lead, 3-2-0 for the O's, 0-1-0 for the Jays. David Percy on the mound has walked 2 and struck out none for the Blue Jays. Gurkin using the defense to get the outs, grounded towards the middle. McDonald diving, gets it, and throws it nowhere. Fortunately for him, it hits the facade and ricochets back to first.
It looked like Aaron Hill, the second baseman, looked over at John McDonald. He said, "Nice arm. I didn't know you had that kind of arm strength." I mean, he's got as good a range as anybody else. I mean, he's the wizard on the turf up and watch this right here. He just lets it go. And Aaron Hill, I don't think we can see it from this angle, but he's looking over. I never saw that kind of arm strength. Watch that. Oh. What?
Look at it. What are you doing?
Yeah. Oh, that's amazing.
That's one of the wildest throws I've ever seen.
It seemed like a good idea until it got out of his hand.
He'll pay for that in the final Kangaroo Court. So the Orioles, as Torres is on, that is a base hit. He was not going to get him.
Good news and bad news.
Yeah.
Great play and then horrible throw. Boy, that easily could have gone into the stands.
Waiters lined out his first time up to deep right field. Matt with the 4-game hit streak. And getting a shot here against Percy, who was really struggling. The Orioles have had the leadoff man on now in 2 out of the 3 innings. 1 ball, 1 strike count on Waiters. Matt's 252 off lefties, 319 off right-handers. Those numbers against left-handed pitchers have come up as the season has moved along. And Matt's obviously had more at-bats against the lefties, in light of the fact he's been playing every day as either a catcher or the designated hitter. Numbers have really come along in a hurry for Waiters.
Well, the game slowed down. I mean, it's not that it's completely slowed down, if you can see again, but I think very analytical. What I like about Matt Wieters, he'll do exactly what Adam Jones did last year and what Brian Mattis did when he got a $3 million bonus. He's going to go into the offseason program to get ready for the year and then try to adjust to Major League Baseball. That's all you can do when you're a young player. Yep. You got to come up here and you got to get here first, and he did. Then you got to figure out what you have to do to be successful, and that takes a while.
92 games played. Yeah. That amazes me is how many games he's actually been in.
It doesn't seem like he's been there that long.
350 at bats he's going to end up with. That's pretty good for what seems like a short time here, but it hasn't been for Matt Wieters.
But think of all the growth in 92 games, and he's done it at every level. And that's a good thing. You come in, you struggle a little bit, you got to make some adjustments. Doesn't get any higher than this.
Yep. Nick Markakis has had a double, 2 RBIs. The next one will be number 100 RBI wise on the season. Nick and Brian Roberts have continued to pile up doubles this season. 44 doubles for Nick Markakis. He's in the top 10 in the American League. Brian Roberts continues to be on top. 56 2-baggers. Runner at first with 1 down. 2-0 delivery on the way. Breaking ball will miss outside, and again Percy struggling with the strike zone. 3-0 count from the left-hander.
Yeah, it is not fun to pitch from behind, and the problem is that if you had good command you wouldn't be behind. So now you got to aim for the middle of the plate, and that's what the hitters want.
Markakis will take that one for a strike. Percy has worked only 47 innings and on the road an 0-2 record, 7.04 major league games. Left-handers have hit only 128 against him. Right-handers 471. Again, bear in mind that's a limited number of innings pitched, only 44 coming into the game. 3 ball, 1 strike delivery, runner going. That's going to be in the gap for a base hit. That'll send his Torres over to third. He'll go in there standing, and Markakis has got a 2-for-2 ball game. First and third, 1 down.
Okay, so now all of a sudden Dave Tremblay, because of who's pitching and the lead, he can start his runners. The counts are getting into situations where if Percy doesn't throw a strike, you got a contact hitter at the plate. Figure he's going to make contact. The guy's got to throw a strike. If he throws ball 4, it's runners at first and second anyway, and then all of a sudden Nick makes a nice adjustment on top of that high fastball.
And our Exmo Cam on Masson brought to you by Famous Dave's Real Honest Barbecue.
And where is it?
It's right there. It's right behind you.
Where?
It's under the chair. Your barbecue.
Oh, really? Well, about time.
It's right there.
Yeah, right where Adam Jones is.
Well, he's not eating it. He's
Okay.
left it alone. Looks like in the first baseman's mitt is needed for Lyle Overbay. Didn't like that one. There it is.
Gave him a right-handed one. Oh, no. There we go.
Brian Butterfield ran back to the clubhouse to find the one that's broken in. So Overbay back after first baseman's glove replaced. Runners on at first and third. Only one away. Ty Wigginton already has one RBI. Came in a ground ball out. He gets another chance here. Orioles with the 3-0 lead. 4 hits in the game.
Yeah, he does lead the Orioles in ground-in double plays with 16.
Pops this one up to shallow center. Vernon Wells has it, and he'll hit the cutoff man. Runner stays at third base. So Wigginton unable to get the runner moved around, and there are 2 down here in the third inning. Tomorrow, celebrate Oktoberfest at Oriole Park. First 10,000 fans, 21 and over, will receive an Orioles tankard presented by Guinness. And all weekend, Fan Appreciation Weekend, so we hope you'll come out and enjoy it. Tickets start as low as $9. To get yours, 888-848-BIRD, or go to Orioles.com. Melvin Mora. Melvin drew a walk his first time up. One of 2 surrendered in the first inning by Percy. First and third, 2 down. Melvin 274 with runners in scoring position on the season. And he will take the pitch for a ball.
And all those 8 home runs at home here at Camden Yards. Did not hit one on the road.
He has continued to have that enormous differential, inexplicable. 315 at home, 209 on the road. And as Jim said, all 8 homers hit here at Camden Yards. 1-0 delivery. Percy will be outside with that, and the count goes to 2 balls and no strikes. Melvin's number against left-handers dipped down this season as well, hitting only 241 off the lefties. Melvin used to feast off left-handed pitching, helped drive the average up and the home run totals. This year it has been a little different. 2-0 count, 2 away. Swung on and fouled off, and that one caught a piece of Phillips. Home plate umpire, Ms. Dreckman, will give him a break here and kick dirt on the plate and then brush it off.
Yeah, got him up on the almost on the heel of the hand and then the wrist.
Melvin Mora will make his way back here. 2 ball, 1 strike count. Orioles with 2 on as Torres a single. Nick Markakis a single. And the 2-1 delivered to Mora, and that'll be popped up. Shallow right field. First baseman Overbay trying to get back. And what? A run will score. Markakis to third, and Mora's got a single. Overbay was playing in front of the runner, Markakis, who was on first, and he did not get a jump on the ball and never got under it.
Yeah, this ball needs to get caught. Again, he changed the glove, doesn't use it. Boy, what a break for the Orioles. I put down P3 on my scorecard.
Wow. Cito Gaston, inning should be over. It's going to go, I guess, as a base hit and an RBI, which will be the 100th RBI, which will be historic scoring. Markakis going over and Mora getting credit for it.
Yeah, that should be one of those team errors which they've always talked about.
Wow. So the Orioles get it 4-0.
Yeah, you get an extra out and another chance for Michael Aubrey.
Markakis is on at third base, and Mora on at first. Aubrey flied out to left field his first time up. He'll drive that one to center again. Wells going back. He has it lined up, and he's got it. Adam Jones The Orioles center fielder injured and out, but he's going to join us when we come back. Before he was injured, and the fact that that play recognized around baseball sent him to the All-Star game, where he became one of the key players late in the ball game. And Adam is joining us here as he continues to stay with the ball club. Pitch is taken up high. As you look back on the All-Star game, had a chance to reflect a little. What are your thoughts?
There's not too many thoughts about it. You know, it was what it was. It was a great game. I want to do it again.
Yeah.
You know, more times, but. You know, it's hard to really put that kind of situation I was in into words, because it was just something I was proud of, and you know, that I would always look back on and cherish that moment.
Now, only your second year, and of course they rehired Dave Tremblay. I was talking earlier on the game that the core players, and I include you as one of those, and even though this is only your second year, you have to go into next year feeling I even have to get better. And so you get hurt, you have a terrific first half, a little bit of a struggle in the second half. Right. Have you had a chance to reflect on that? Can you tell people at home what it was like when you were really hot versus when all of a sudden the league adjusts and things are not quite as simple when you come to the plate?
Well, I mean, as you know, it's a game of adjustments, and the first half I was making every adjustment to every pitch I seen, and after the All-Star break, it wasn't going as I would hope, but I kept going out there and battling, and the pitchers had to make a good pitch because I still was, feeling good up there at the plate. I just didn't swing at the pitches or hit the pitches that that I was in the first half.
Now, was there a reason? I mean, when you got to 19 home runs, and I know that you weren't thinking, I'm only going to hit 20 home runs. You're thinking maybe 25, 28, whatever. Right. They'll just happen because I know that's your hitting philosophy. Mm-hmm. What was your little anxiousness there?
I mean, I guess 20's the number everybody wants to get. You get 20 home runs, you're considered something. I don't know, but I would have loved to have finished with more. I would love to be playing right now, but things didn't happen the way they did. But I think I just come out next year and do what I did this year, but first half, but I think for the whole year.
At the plate is Hill with a runner on at first base. Bautista drawing the first walk off Birkin, and it is a leadoff walk here in the fourth inning. Hill third in homers, fifth in RBIs in the American League coming into the play today. He grounded out his first time up, enters this with a 3-game hit streak. Adam, I'm sure you've been asked already by a number. We've not had a chance to hear your response, though. The announcement Dave Tremblay's back for next season.
I think it's a good thing for our team. You can't necessarily put the struggles that we've had on anybody. We went out there and battled every single day. It's just sometimes most of the time we came in on the losing part of the game, but I don't think that the manager is accountable for that. We're the guys out there playing hard, and things didn't happen our way. But I think that go down to spring training and get back on the drawing board and start where it begins with fundamentals. And hopefully you have a good year next year.
All right. And that's the base hit. Runners on at first and second now, and Encarnacion is batting in the 3-hole coming up. Bautista down at second, Hill on at first. Encarnacion grounded out his first time up and will take the slider away from Birkin. One of the things that concerns me, Adam, and I've talked about this with you before, with players, is an attitude that a season can't be surrendered at the beginning. It just can't be. And sometimes you get the feeling, because you're playing in the East and you know how good the opponent's going to be, and et cetera, that fans begin to wonder, is it given away? How do you overcome that as a player and as a team?
I think you just have to take the same attitude as the Yankees and the Red Sox take. They'll put 20 runs on you if you let them. They're not going to just lay over and die. Oh, they got the win. No, they're teams that continuously pile on the runs, and I think that's the mentality we got to have. Is no matter what, every day we play 27 outs, or at least 27 outs. So go out there for those 27 outs, raise hell, and give it all you got.
Whoa, did he get that? That is back in left field at the wall, and goodbye home run. With the rain came the homer, and Encarnacion, a 3 RBI shot, scoring Bautista and Hill ahead of him, and it makes it a 4-3 ball game.
Well, yeah, you walk Bautista, you get behind Hill, as you mentioned, one of the premier hitters, and then you hang a slider. And Adam, you can tell them where this breaking ball ends up.
Those are good pitches to hit.
Yep.
we all know those are good pitches to hit.
And again, this is a guy that's now hit 6 home runs in his last 18 games. In fact, this team has more home runs, as we mentioned earlier, than any team in baseball in the month of September.
That was a shot right there. Encarnacion makes it a 1-run ball game here. That ball is put up in the air to right field off the bat of Vernon Wells. Nick Markakis will get over, and Wells puts it away for the out.
Well, let me ask you one thing about it. I've pitched for almost 20 years. If I had the outfield, when you're healthy and Reimel's healthy and Markakis, I got to think that anytime I put a ball up in the air, you guys are going to run it down. You've got to feel pretty confident being on a team that that at least coming into 2010, you guys are going to be back.
Yeah, the thing I try to tell our pitchers is, man, let them hit it. They're big, they're strong. They can't hit it hard every single time or hit it out every single time. Let us do what we're out there to do. I'm out in center field. Let me run. I'm out there to run. Let me run. Let Reimel run. Let Markakis run, because us three, we can move, we can throw, and those combinations, I think we have one of the best young outfields in all of baseball. And the best part about it is, we got 2 25-year-olds and me, 24.
You have that. Let me ask you this now: how are you physically?
Physically, I'm good. It's not. I can't play baseball right now, but I'm walking, no pain, and I can do everything. And when I get back to Arizona in a couple days, I'll be right back at the rehab place and getting ready to get back on the field.
So will you do what you did last year? Performance?
But I'm gonna do it a month longer since I missed a month. So I need to come back in better shape than I did last year. This year.
I always felt you try to control as many variables as you can. Is this is what you're trying to do?
In a sense, I want to take the best care of my body, and I think that place, API in Arizona, does it for me. So I'm just going to stick to it.
Well, you also tell us about some of the players. You got Brian Roberts, you got Pedroia, you got some of the best players.
You got Ellsbury, you got
Longoria.
No, I haven't seen him there.
Well, I think he's going to do it this year. Yeah,
Freddie Sanchez. The list goes on and on. It'd be hard sitting here trying to, memorize everybody. But everybody there, they're there for a reason. That place does a good job.
And the ground ball out as Torres able to field that one. How tough for you to sit and watch so many of these ball games down there?
It's been bad. It's been, for me personally, because my heart and soul is getting on that field. So just the 11-game road trip they just had, or 10-game road trip, it was sad, not being able to play. I want to be out there on the field with my team, grinding. If I'd rather be losing with them than sitting at home losing, because that means at least I'm out there getting a chance to fight for my team.
Mom's here?
Yeah, she's here somewhere. I can't find her, but she's here somewhere.
Tell us about your mother.
Man, you guys don't have enough time.
We got a chance to meet her last year.
Yeah,
she is just.
She's a terrific woman. She can be overboard, but I guess that's how moms are.
There's another one to left field, and that ball is gone. Goodbye. Home run for Randy Ruiz, the designated hitter who was not supposed to play in this ball game tonight. He was a late addition to the lineup change just before the game starts, and all of a sudden this ball game is tied up.
Well, they do what they did. They had 26 home runs the last 10 games, and if you went back, and this looks like it's going to be a hanging, maybe a changeup. He had missed a home run swing the last time, so you try to read the bat, but Jason gets the ball in the middle of the plate, and it's tied.
19 home runs now against Jason Birkin in 118 innings. And this inning, after looking real good through the first 3 and facing the minimum number of hitters, he has surrendered a 3-run homer and a solo shot along with a walk and a single. And Toronto's come back and tied this ball game up at 4-4.
Well, one of the things we talk about so much, Adam, and maybe you can comment on this, is that the second time you see a guy for the first time, you have all the scouting reports, a little bit easier to hit him the second time because you know how the ball moves and maybe the way the breaking pitches are breaking.
Yeah, oh, definitely it is. But like you said, if it doesn't matter how good somebody's stuff is, if you put something out there, it doesn't matter anytime you face them. But like what I was trying to explain to other people about our staff is we have a very good young staff. Inexperienced, yes. Great arms. You would know that better than I would. They have great arms. It's just we got to continue to grind. And I think by bringing up, we got 4 guys in the rotation right now, younger, 3 or 4. But I think by having them next year come in with a full spring training, with the team knowing they have a great chance to make the team out of spring training, I think that can definitely help our young staff to come out next year and be Bulldogs, because I think the world of every last one of our young pitching. And I just think the inexperience and the division can make it tough on the young pitchers.
And that is Snyder grounding out, but a big inning as the Jays come away with 4 to tie the ball game up. Ready for you to play-by-play now?
No.
Huh? Yeah, you are.
Oh no.
We'll be right back. And by the Sarasota Convention and Visitors Bureau. Go beyond the beaches. A little rain you saw coming down, shower passing through here. It is all but stopped now. Adam Jones kind enough to join us here. You excited about going to Sarasota, new spring training home?
Definitely. I'm going to miss Fort Lauderdale. Fort Lauderdale is a great city. You got the beach, but I think that ballpark is terrible.
Yeah,
everything about the ballpark.
That's being very nice about that, actually. Yeah. Montanez, Fiorentino, and Roberts. All right, I'll do Montanez, and then you got Fiorentino.
Oh, really now?
Yeah. Well, I'll give you time to think about it and what you want to say.
I want to do the color. I'm cool. I'm better with color rather than the play-by-play.
Yeah, we've already discussed that.
Oh,
he wants to be an analyst.
I'd rather be an analyst. I'd rather talk about it than see what's going on. I'll mess up every time.
Montanez will ground that one foul. He flied out to left field his first time up in the ball game.
Your first full year in the big leagues was last year. You played a little bit with Seattle before you were traded. Your impressions of Matt Wieters coming up with all the hoopla and the expectations and whatever. It looks like he's made some pretty nice adjustments.
Man, that guy can play. You know, he's big. But back there, you know, he's going to do fine. I feel, you know, he's young, he's limber, he's in great shape. He has all the tools. You know, of course, he's not fast. We all know that because this is a catcher. But he can hit from both sides with power for average. You know, and he's a good catcher with a great throwing arm. And I feel, you know, with our young core, we got, like you said, we got like 8 or 9 guys that are just young. And I think that if we're here all together, I feel, you know, the sky's the limit with us.
Now, I know you love to play in the Yankee Stadium. The Orioles, winning 2 of the 18 games. A lot of 1-run and 2-run ball games.
Right.
What's it going to take to that little difference? I mean, obviously the good pitching or whatever, but you're in games, but it just doesn't seem like you're winning. What's going to take the turnaround?
I mean, it's things that I've noticed, you know, being able to watch the game is it's always that one thing. You know, it's either that, you know, just that one pitch, that one ground ball, that one mistake, that one at bat, or anything that we didn't come through. And you know, if we eliminate the big innings, especially once the starter's out, eliminate the big innings in the later part of the game, I think that we'll be fine because we have, like I said, we have all good arms. You know, it's just the situations people get put in sometimes is, I guess, overwhelming or just, you know, just difficult.
Grinding out. I mean, we talk about that in baseball, Adam. That's what you got to do.
You got to grind, and all our guys are grinding. You know, I got to see them today. You know, they look tired from the road trip. I'm sure it was an exhausting road trip, but, you know, one thing I know about every last guy in the clubhouse is that they were grinding.
Leadership on this ball club. Who becomes, or more than one, become the leaders of this team for next year?
I guess that's an open discussion. You know, there's different type of leaders. You got leaders vocal. You got leaders that just go out there and do what they do every day and, you know, just play the game the way they play it. Me, I'm a little different. I'm a vocal guy. You guys are around me enough to know that, you know, I'm not afraid to say anything that's on my mind. And if that's what it takes, then that's what it takes. You know, I don't mind personally being not saying in charge of the team, but having to, you know, sometimes a lot of fire under the team. I would love that role.
Sometimes you got to grab it.
Sometimes, I mean, like you said, and talking to my brother and my friends back home they're telling me, hey man, this is what you got to do. You have to go out there and do it. And you know, I'm not going to shy away from it any bit. It's just, you know, I got to, like, you know, I don't want to step on anybody's toes.
Oh, don't worry about it. most people have a couple of pair of shoes, so if you step on a couple of toes and it ignites a fire, so be it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I understand that.
When you grew up in, you know, San Diego, did you have, who was your idols? I mean, who do you want to play center field like or be a shortstop, because that's how you came up?
My first starting, it was A-Rod. You know, being in the Pacific Northwest, he was the shortstop we got to see, you know, being in San Diego. Tony Gwynn's my favorite player, of course, growing up.
8 batting titles? 8
batting titles. Just everything about him. You know, I've gotten to know him, especially in high school and to now. I've gotten to know him real well, and you know, just the insight that he has about the game is something that you just can't teach.
That is foul back, running again, Fiorentino. Tonight, Adam, how about everybody? The Orioles team has just been on the fly since this game started. People running, stealing bases.
Yeah, and I like to see that. I think we all need to do that. And I think, you know, we got 3 games left here. Finish these 3 games out real hard. You know, everybody get away after the season, and come back in spring training with that idea of, you know, we're about to hurt everybody. We're not going to have everybody count us out. And, you know, in spring training, because you know how they always show the power rankings and all that stuff. And the first thing they do is count us out. And we're not allowing that no more.
Like the sound of that, I'll tell you.
Now, I know you want to be healthy. I would think that's your #1 goal when you're kind of talent. You set goals. I mean, can you anticipate what 2010 is going to be if you're healthy?
Better than 2009.
I'll go for that.
You know, I'm not numbers.
Well, no, but you just want to have consistency.
Yeah, I want to have the first half. I want to continue that throughout the second half, and you know, I think I can do it. I feel I know I can do it.
Yeah, I think we probably could have projected, what, about 25, 95 with kind of cruising in there if you hadn't been hurt.
You never know. And, you know, that I think that's one of my big goals. I've thought to myself, like, I think I can drive in 100 runs in this division or in this game. And, of course, you got to do it, and that's the hard part to get to 100. We're trying to root for Nick. He needs one more. So, you know, it's tough. And I feel that that I can do it in this division with our team because, especially with Roberts, if he's hitting in front of me, which I anticipate.
Where do you like in the lineup?
It's
That's off the bag. That's going to be a base hit. As Torres is having a night over to third, Fiorentino, he'll stay there. That's a 3 for 3 as Torres has got 2 singles and a double in the ball game.
Yeah, swung the bat really well down in Tampa Bay. There you go, 13 double. There's a guy that will probably be more comfortable next year too. Second year in the league after coming back from the National League. Bullet over the bag.
So your position in the lineup, you got one over the other?
It depends. I like two. I really personally, I like hitting with men on base. It doesn't matter where I'm hitting as long as there's guys on base because I feel, you know, I'm not saying the concentration is different, but when guys are on base, I want them in. So I think, you know, hitting 2 early in the year was good for me just to, you know, get the pressure off of me, get some fastballs, and then moving to 3, and, you know, I've moved to 4, 5. I've hitting, you know, been moved around a little bit.
Yep.
Only thing that I really like to do is just hit with men on base. So wherever position that has the most men on base, just let me hit that.
You got it. Matt Wieters up there with runners on at second and third now with 2 down. This is a 4-4 ball game. The Orioles out hitting the Jays 7-4. Adam Jones out with that sprained ankle. Joining us here in the booth, the Orioles center fielder. Percy on the mound has 2 down. And Wieters will take it down low.
So with the playoffs coming up, I know you know, good friends with Torrey Hunter, who plays for the Angels. What, 8 or 9, 10, whatever Gold Gloves he has. I know you want one of his or another one. Who are you going to root for in the playoffs? You got any favorites?
I mean,
not who's going to win.
Who's going to win? Favorites, you got to. If it comes to favorites, I know everybody in Baltimore. You know, I know they hate New York, but if it comes to favorites, you know, you got to use common sense, and they look like the clear favorite to me.
But we know sometimes you root for guys you really like. So
definitely. I mean, I like the Dodgers, West Coast, Dodgers, Anaheim. I hope it's a West Coast series.
Really?
That'd be nice.
And you'll be there.
I wouldn't say I'd be there, but I mean, at least they get to play baseball in 70 degree weather.
Yeah, well, that's true because
in 70 rather than being over here on the East Coast.
You've been listening to Gary tell it we might have games 6 and 7 in November this year
in Boston.
Which for a guy that does hockey, you'll love that.
Freezing.
It's fine when it's hockey. Here's the 1-2 delivery on the way, and that'll be taken down low for a ball. I know the answer to this question, but I just want to hear you respond to it. Sick of losing?
Exhausted by it. I don't like. I've never liked losing. But I mean, you gotta go through the tough roads to get to the glory roads, and Tampa did it for every year until last year. So I think they got the guys. We have the guys here that can change this franchise around. It's just a matter of win and having all the pieces of the puzzle on the right page at the right time.
Yeah. That's why what Andy McPhail does in the offseason really is going to matter to this ball club.
Yeah, I've grown to know that the offseason is one of the most important things. And like last offseason, it was an important thing as an in-house thing by getting Markakis locked up, not having to worry about him for a long time. And, keeping B-Rob, who is the igniter of he starts everything that goes on with our team. So. You got him for 4 more years. You got, Wieters, 23, me young. So and the sky's the limit for our team due to the fact that we have tons of talent and youth is on our side.
All right. 2 down here. Matt Wieters trying to get a couple of RBIs and give the Orioles the lead back if he can get a base hit. He has struck out and flied out to right field. Percy with the 3-2 delivery to him, and that one is laced in the air to left field. Back and goodbye! Home run! Matt Wieters. A 3 RBI homer, and the Orioles go back on top 7-4.
Now we saw why they got Redicky up throwing. Tell you what, he gets on this changeup pretty well, doesn't he, Adam?
Oh, it's right where that big man wants it.
You don't like to hit this kind of changeup up in the zone?
Oh, no, I'm not too fond of it.
Speed up the bat a little bit. Boy, what a streaming line drive, sinking. And that's going to bring Cito Gaston out to make a pitching change.
And that will give us a chance to thank Adam as Matt Wieters delivers the 3 RBI homer. I know you wish you were out there involved in this, and we certainly love seeing you out there. We can't wait till next year to do it again. And thanks for coming up, spending time with us, and have a great off season.
I'm gonna try.
Say hello to your mom. Yeah, please.
I will. Next time I find her, I'm gonna give her a big hug for you guys.
All right, Adam Jones, our guest, joining us for the inning, and Wieters joining in the home run. When we come back, we'll take a look at the pen. Contest as Matt Wieters gets his 9th. He's had 5 at home and 5 on the road, and the 3rd home run against a left-hander on the season, and the Orioles are back on top. And here's Josh Rennick.
Yeah, again, not great numbers, but right-handers he gets out well. He did come in and get a hold against the Orioles back on the 23rd of September when the Blue Jays up at Sky Dome beat him 3 straight. So he comes in. He came over from Cincinnati when they traded Encarnacion already with the 3-run home run tonight. Scott Rowland went over there. A lot of people wondered why you would get somebody, even though he was playing well at his age, but they trade for him, and they get Encarnacion and Ron Renicky. Breaking ball right there for strike 1.
So the right-hander will face Nick Markakis. Nick has had a double and a single. The Orioles some hitters in the middle here. As Torres, the number 2 hitter, is already 3 for 3, 3 runs scored. Wieters has got the home run, 3 RBIs, batting 3rd. And Nick Markakis, the cleanup batter, he's 2 for 2 with a double and a single and 2 RBIs. So 2, 3, 4 production tonight in the lineup for the Orioles. 0-1 count. Markakis. The base is empty and 2 down. Renicky 1-1, and he'll take that down low. Orioles have picked up 14 home runs against Toronto, a team that has hit 18 against them, or 19 against them on the season, with the 2 that have been hit off Jason Birkin in the ball game. Here's the 2-1 delivery. That'll be out of play. Fortunately, so far, at least, the rain you've seen coming down lasts for about 30 seconds and then shuts off.
Yeah, showers all night. I guess getting a little bit heavier as the night proceeds. At least the initial report was they were going to be a little bit later, but early arriving. Not good.
The front edge
of the front.
That's right. Here's the 2-2 delivery, and that will be fouled back off the fist. Stays at a 2-ball, 2-strike count. Detroit's magic number is still 1 to guarantee themselves a spot. The White Sox are beating them by a score of 3-0. They lead Minnesota by 2 games. Any combination of a Minnesota loss and a Detroit win, and the Tigers have the division. You only got 3 games left, and certainly got to make things interesting. Jake Peavy making the start for the White Sox in that ball game. Minnesota's got a 5-0 lead over Kansas City, and they just started.
Yeah, well, you know what they have to do. They got to win every game and hope for some help.
Yep.
And they could get it out of that pitching staff that Detroit's going to see.
Yep.
By the White Sox.
P.V. Gavin and Danks. That's a base hit into center field. So Markakis is 3 for 3. As Torres 3 for 3 and Markakis 3 for 3. The Orioles have 9 hits.
Well, how do you want to score a lot of runs? You want to get your starter out, so they've done that. You get a guy that doesn't have the experience. Well, Percy, of course, didn't have a lot either. And you take your shots. So for a young pitcher, when you get throwing 3-4 fastballs to a good hitter and the third or fourth one's right down the middle, they're not good. They're going to have a good swing. They may not always get a base hit, but it's going to be a quality at bat, and that's what Markakis has.
Ty Wigginton has an RBI that came in a ground ball out. He is also flied out. Wigginton will take the pitch down low for a ball from Renicky. Take a look at Ty numbers, this year, last year, and his career numbers. He's up there at the career and average. Home runs, yeah, pretty close to that too. RBI 40. Average is 52, but for the number of at bats he's had this season, he has been a productive player. Come off the bench as a pinch hitter. And Ty Wigginton's future to be decided.
Yeah, I mean, he could play a lot of positions. If he played third base, he certainly would not. I can't imagine he would play the way Melvin has played defensively. Talking about Melvin Mora.
1-0 delivery to him. Wigginton unable to hold up on the slider, and a 1-ball 1-strike count.
Yeah, pretty good slider. The slider is the good ones look exactly like a fastball till they slide away. And the important thing from a pitching standpoint is that you have good tilt. In other words, it doesn't slide into the middle of the strike zone and stay there. So it's more like a diagonal across the zone.
1-1.
And that ball did exactly that.
Wigginton, same thing, and a 1-ball 2-strike count.
And tell you what, when I came to the Orioles, they had a guy, Milt Pappas, who, again, the Orioles will be looking for other players. They traded him and Dick Simpson over to Cincinnati for Frank Robinson. And Milt had as good a sliders as I've ever seen. Won over 200 games, 100 in each league. He would just go down and away with the best of them.
Throw over to get Nick Markakis back to the bag. Wigginton hitting .306 against Toronto this year. No home runs and 3 RBIs. Ty has appeared in 13 of the now 16 games these two teams have played this season. 1-ball 2-strike count. Markakis edging off first, being held by Overbay. Renicky a very long set. And the 1-2 delivery, and got him on one even further, down and away. So Renicky comes on to get the strikeout, but the Orioles will have a 3-run inning highlighted by 1 cut taken by Matt Wieters, his 9th home run of the season, and the Orioles go back on top 7-4. Trip 4-2 to Sarasota, Florida.
So how far do you live from the ballpark, Mr. Smiley?
It will take me probably 10 to 15 minutes. Depends on whether the drawbridge goes up or down.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Get to the island, there's a drawbridge. If you go to Sarasota, make sure you go to Siesta Key. Siesta Beach is one of the great beaches in the world, continually ranked by Condé Nast and others as one of the top 10 beaches anywhere in the world. It's absolutely beautiful. And there's a little village there, Siesta Key Village. Great restaurants, a little shopping there. It's a wonderful day.
And then you go to the ballpark, see the Orioles. See
Absolutely.
Yeah, this is like perfect.
Vacation time, you get a place on the beach, stay for a week, join in. It's a lot of fun.
Baseball, sunshine, frivolity.
Sarasota.
What more? Sarasota.
Well, you got the Wrigley Museum. Don't miss that.
That's up
that one loop to right field. That's going to be a base hit. So the Orioles have the lead, a single, and the leadoff man on here in the 5th inning, John McDonald. Celebrate Oktoberfest at Oriole Park tomorrow with a special pregame themed buffet. The Camden Yards bullpen picnic area, German foods, beer selections, Guinness, Harp, and Smittix. And there'll be more. Space is limited, so we hope you'll not miss your chance. Oktoberfest, 888-848-BIRD or Orioles.com for info. McDonald on with the leadoff single. Birkin trying to settle down now. He gave up the 4 runs that tied the ball game in the 4th inning. Wieters with a swing of the bat got the lead back, and we'll see what Birkin can do with it here in the 5th.
Well, part of pitching, and the bullpen is going to scurry around, is you need to make adjustments. And for Jason, he was so good, and then it really started with Kyle Phillips. He had a screamer right at Brian Roberts for a double play, and then the next inning they got 4 runs. So in a tough love environment, and if this was next year, and I know Earl Weaver would have done it, and Dave Drummond is going to take a page out of his book. He's getting somebody up, because you can't blow a 4-run lead. They present you with another 3-run lead and then go back out there and get into trouble again. That's not how you win games.
1-1 delivery down low. Birkin in 3 starts against Toronto, 2-1, 3.78 ERA. Prior to tonight, he's had his best starts by far against the Jays. He is 1-1, but a very respectable 3.38 ERA against them. A little different right now. Here's the 2-1 delivery on the way. That'll be foul back, and Phillips went into a double play behind on the count. Matt Albers in the bullpen.
I mean, it's an opportunity if Birkin can't do his job for Albers, who's Matt's really struggled lately and very inconsistent, to come in and do what he can do, which is to keep you in the game, make his pitches. And again, until the other night when he hung the curveball to Willie Ibar, I mean, he'd only given up 2 home runs all year long and 60-some. So the good part of it is that, but the bad part is lefties were hitting like 350 off him. So, but right here, if you're Dave Tremblay, you just have to say, you know what, got a lot of opportunities, but we're going to go to the bullpen if you're not going to get guys out.
McDonald on at first base. Phillips, the number 9 hitter. 3-2 delivery to him, and a pop-up with the rain coming down. Outfield's going to have to handle this. Montanez comes over and puts it away. Phillips is retired, and there's the first out. For the Orioles this weekend, they've got to win a couple of ball games to avoid that 3-digit 100-loss season. A couple against Toronto will take care of that, as the Orioles have lost 98 ball games. They finished up on the road with their 3rd worst road record in the franchise history at 25-56. It was just a struggle all year for the Orioles to try and win games away. Towering fly ball by Jose Bautista. Fiorentino. And he's got it. Runner halfway goes back to first. Bautista retired, 2 down.
Yeah, he throws his bat down in disgust. A pretty good pitch to hit, just skied it to left. I love that when a guy makes an out and throws the bat down.
Not supposed to be happy.
No.
If you're happy, you weren't going to be here very long.
Yeah, but you're out there in the mound saying, too bad.
Yeah, that's right.
Too bad. You had your chance. I mean, that's such a game where sometimes you make great pitches. We saw John McDonald start this inning off with a pretty good slider down the way, poked it into right. Sometimes you throw it right down the middle, they pop it up. That's baseball.
Aaron Hill on a slider away. Hill delivered a single, scored in the 4th inning. He has also grounded out. Encarnacion's got a 3 RBI homer. That was the big blast, and then Ruiz, the solo shot that tied the ball game up. The Orioles have a 2 RBI night for Marquegas, 3 RBIs for Wieters. Leaders on the homer. RBI single by Melvin Moore, and Ty Wigginton an RBI and a ground ball out.
And Encarnacion, I mean, that's what got Jason Birkin in Cleveland in trouble, just a breaking ball up in the zone. It wasn't a 3-run home run, but it was a 2-run home run and a solo shot. And that's how Toronto got back into the game. And this guy, what a year he's had. All-star, very much like Adam Jones. 36 home runs, 107 RBIs. You talked about total bases are right up there.
Runner going, and the tag put on as he swung and missed. So Hill is retired on the strikeout. Birkin gets his first K. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left.
In the toughest phase, where you're essentially tearing down and you've got the road construction in front of you. You've dealt off your more attractive players to other clubs, or some of them anyway. You brought in a nucleus of young talent. So we're out of phase 1 now, going forward. And where we are now, in my estimation, is we're going to move back to the more traditional criteria of evaluating managers, wins and losses.
AT&T, the nation's fastest 3G network. AT&T, your world delivered. Andy McPhail in charge of baseball operations for the Orioles at the press conference at 5:30 this afternoon. The announcement that Dave Tremblay's option will be picked up. He'll be back to manage next year. And the further announcement, as you heard, of moving forward, of a need to recognize now we're at a point where the W's and the L's are going to make a difference for him and for the players.
Yeah, he'll be probably getting a lot of text messages from Dave Tremblay. Well, did you hear we could get this guy and that guy and whatever? I mean, Dave is on record as saying I'll probably be. And Joe Girardi said it best in New York a couple of weeks ago. He said players make managers.
Sure.
And the night that Jeter broke the Lou Gehrig's record, Mike Lupica was up there. We found the New York Post, I guess, or Daily News. Daily News, and he said he did an interview with Earl Weaver after he retired. He said, how many games does a manager win and lose? And Earl did the big 0. None a year. He said it takes players. And Earl had great players. So you get him some better players. Melvin takes one for the club, barely, off the end. That's a smart way to get hit. Just have it hit the jersey. Double mids.
So Melvin Moore gets on, leading off the 5th inning as he is hit by a pitch. Let's take a look at our Ford prospect player profile. Brandon Waring, 7th round draft pick by the Reds. Went to Wofford College, 3rd baseman, 6'4", 195 pounder. He played at Double-A and Single-A this season with a combined 274, 27 home runs, 96 RBIs. And the pitch taken for a strike by Michael Avery. Avery has flied out twice. Something else Andy McPhail talked about was depth. Asked him about could the Orioles next year be a factor for a playoff contender in this division. And he didn't say no, but he said we probably don't have the depth we need yet to do that. And as you have seen this season and seasons past with the Red Sox and Yankees, ball clubs like that go to the playoffs are able to fill in for injuries for the time their first line players are out. And that's not easily done, because that kind of depth around baseball this day and age, Jim, just doesn't exist very
well. You better spend some money. And he did allude to the fact that the Orioles would try to do that, but in a obviously a very constructive way. And you know, Dave, but I think if you go back and look, if you look at the outfield for next year, if Raimel comes back and he's healthy, you're going to have him in left and Jones in the center and Markakis. But Felix Pie has come a long way from having a very funky swing to having some really good at-bats down the stretch.
That ball hit in the air to right field. It is deep. Michael Aubrey. Goodbye. Home run. A 2 RBI homer for Aubrey. And the Orioles, on his 3rd of the season, extend their lead.
Well, I'll tell you what. Now, he got his first Oriole home run up in Toronto on a curveball. And he had a good hitting count, but this is 1 ball and 2 strikes. They try to sneak a fastball by him. You can see it run out over the plate. Foot gets down, and this ball is smacked out of here. No doubt about this. Well, there's your depth.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Michael Aubrey gets the home run. And for Aubrey, that is the first homer he's had here in this ballpark. The other 2 came out on the road, so his first Camden Yards dinger as an Oriole. And the Orioles now have a 9-4 lead in the ball game.
That is the best swing I've seen him have on a fastball in a, we sometimes, hitting count at 2-1, 3-1. That's what the home run was in Cleveland. But right there, I mean, that's just the guy didn't get the ball, but it wasn't like you're looking for fastball. You're looking to protect the plate with 2 strikes. What a great swing. Aubrey
brings home Mora, who was hit by a pitch. Orioles now with 9 runs on 10 hits. The Jays 4 runs on 5 hits. And that one stroked in the air to left center field. Center fielder Wells puts it away. Montanez retired. So a home run surrendered by Wieters knocked the starter David Percy out of the ball game. A home run off Renicky by Aubrey, and the bullpen activated again. Remember, the Jays are coming in here with that record of 9-1 over their last 10. They hit .305 in that 10-game set and had 24 home runs in 10 games. So you're never going to get enough against the way the Jays are playing right now. Pitch is taken strike by Fiorentino. Fielder's choice first time up, and he scored. Cito Gaston, discussion about whether he will be back in Toronto. Articles around the baseball world today. That one's a base hit into right field. Fiorentino. Articles written that the players have spoken, of course off the record as it usually is, that they would like to see a managerial change, or at least enough of them to be talked about in stories. That Cito Gaston's coming back, as going back to the glory days, has faded, and it's time for maybe another turn.
Yeah, and actually some of the players, after Kenny Rosenthal wrote the article, Wells, Aaron Hill, and Barajas wanted to talk to the team and executives. Of course, J.P. Ricciardi said he thought it was pretty lame to drag somebody like Cito Gaston through the mud publicly. And Cito, I thought he handled it very well. He said, listen, hey, my door is always open. Come see me if you have a problem. But again, they didn't do that. And maybe they ought to be more disgruntled because they just won 9 out of 10. I mean, think about it.
That's right.
And he also said, and he said this a couple weeks ago, he said, listen, if guys have problems, go in, look in the mirror, and see if you think you've had the kind of year you've had. And it all started really when they played I think the first 41 games, they won 27-14, one of the best starts in baseball, especially in the American League.
That'll be down the line. Brian Roberts headed towards the seats and out of play.
But they only played 3 games against the American League East.
Exactly.
And there you go. Look at this.
The run differential you see for the Yankees, enormous. And then look what it drops down to. Toronto, Oakland A's, Seattle Mariners, the run differentials.
Well, if you look at this, Gary, you're 83-76, but you've scored 51 runs less than you've given up. What does that tell you about pitching? And the ballpark, of course. It's a great place to pitch, and beautiful ballpark, but it's a pitcher's park.
Yankee Stadium isn't. That one is fouled away. And the exact opposite story being written by the Rockies, and you're going to hear a lot about it. Exactly opposite of Toronto. The Rockies started 20-32 and now have made it. They're going to be in the postseason play. They are the first team since the 05 Astros to be that many games below 500 on June 1, 12 games below, and come back and make it to the playoffs. Interestingly, the team before that was the 89 Blue Jays. The 05 Astros and the 89 Blue Jays, the last 2 teams to be down 10 or more games on June 1 and make it to the postseason.
Yeah, and then Cito would take him to the World Championships in '92 and '93.
Yep.
And he took over last year. They played very well the second half. So, and they've had all kinds of injuries. They lost, well, 3 of their starters, McGowan and Lish, and Hilgett and Roberts will go down on a strike. But they lost 3 of their starters early on, and it was really Roy Halladay was just coming off back-to-back shutouts, already a Cy Young Award winner, and a bunch of young guys. And you don't win in the American League East with that kind of staff.
And Halladay is gone. I mean, it may not be this coming year, but Roy Halladay is not going to be staying in Toronto for the rest of his career. And the belief is he is going to end up wearing a New York Yankees uniform, if not next year, the year after. That the Yankees are going to go out and get him by paying him a ton, of course. And that ball to right field, that is hit hard, but it stays up, and they finally get his Turris. His Turris, a 3-hit ball game, but he lines out to right field. The Orioles get 2 more runs. Mora hit by a pitch. Michael Aubrey, the next batter. Home run number 3, his first at Camden Yards. .2110 Utah Street, presented by First Fidelity Mortgage. The hottest new address, you can be there, $21, a reserved Utah Street bleacher seat, and the exclusive I Live at 2110 Utah Street t-shirt. 888-848-BIRD, Orioles.com. One more chance tomorrow. Matt Albers out of the bullpen as Birkin gave up 4 over 5 innings pitched.
Well, you're always auditioning when you have the highest ERA in the bullpen of all the bullpens in the major league. So here's a perfect example. Big lead. Get Birkin another win. It would be his 3rd against the Blue Jays. Come in and make some quality pitches.
He will face the middle of the order. Encarnacion, a home run in the 4th inning, his 12th of the year. He will take the pitch inside for a ball. He has homered and grounded out in the ball game. Encarnacion, Wells, and Overbay up against Matt Albers. Albers with a 1-0. He has faced Toronto now in 6 games in relief, given up 4 runs, 7 hits in 7 innings. They are hitting .250 against him. He surrendered a couple of walks and has 6 strikeouts against Toronto batters this year. Slider's going to catch the outside corner. 2-ball, 1-strike count. Encarnacion.
Well, Joe Madden of the Tampa Bay Rays was saying, he said, I like the arms in the bullpen, but the problem with the arms, and we always talk about the radar gun, is can you make quality pitches? And if he could stay where he was right there on the 2-0 pitch, it's going to get a lot of people out. And you can see right there, you could see Encarnacion having to reach for that ball. So again, the radar gun tells you 93 to 95. You know, he has a pretty good curve ball, even though some scouts have said, well, where has it gone? Because it's very inconsistent. That's what Ibar hit for the home run. But if Matt Albers wants to pitch in the big leagues, he's going to have to come in and make quality pitches wherever he pitches, whether it's here next year or whatever. I mean, again, if I was his age, and then that age is 26 years old, I'd want to stay around.
2-2's got to be way inside, and a 3-ball, 2-strike count.
I mean, there's a side of you that says, okay, labrum problem, so he really battled through that. You know, Dave Tremblay said he's not happy with his conditioning. Well, change it.
Work out.
Yeah, well, and as a manager, that's your responsibility. Get your people to do that.
That is his Torres that short up with it. Encarnacion, a 364 hitter against the Orioles this year, grounds out. I mean, one away here in the 6th inning.
For Dave Tremblay to, you know, as manager, he's a real nice guy, and I think the players know that. And for me, Earl Weaver wasn't a nice guy, but he was a winner. Now, he had great players, but he told everybody what he expected of them, and it was very simple. He said, if you can't do the job, I'll get somebody else. Is that tough love, or is that what most winning teams do?
I don't think there's any question about it. That's what you do.
Yeah.
Here's Vernon Wells. The players, in the end, will only benefit you if they win.
And they benefit themselves, too.
Being their good buddies won't do a darn thing for the future years or your paycheck. 1 ball, 1 strike count, and 1 away. Orioles 9-11-0. The Jays 4-5-0. Birkin, the Orioles starter, out of there with a chance to be a winner in this ball game. Wells' fly ball. Markakis will get there and put it away. And there are 2 down here in the 6th inning. Don't forget, tomorrow, right back for game 2 of this series. It'll be Mark Hendrickson 5-5, Scott Richmond, who is 8-10. And then Sunday afternoon, Jeremy Guthrie and Ricky Romero will conclude the 2009 regular season. As it boils on down to the finals for the playoff burst, Detroit's magic number, of course, as we said, at 1. They're trying to get a victory or a Minnesota loss to assure themselves of the division title. It's the only way either of those teams can get in, as the wild card has gone to the Red Sox, the Yankees, the Angels. The Yankees have the best mark, guaranteeing themselves the home field advantage in the playoffs in the American League. And of course, the All-Star game assured the American League winner the home field advantage in the World Series. That's still to be decided in the National League, though, as far as the best record. That will be decided this weekend for the National League teams. Yeah,
that means you have to play full tilt that last weekend, because I would think most teams would want to have home advantage. I mean, the Dodgers now with 93 wins, the Phillies with 92, St. Louis with 91.
So they've all got a chance. You would think the Dodgers would be able to do it, but they've lost 4 in a row coming into tonight's game. A strike taken, 2 down, nobody on. Overbay has grounded out twice in the ball game. White Sox still leading Detroit, shutting them out 8-0 in the 7th inning. Minnesota shutting out Kansas City 7-0. And that is going to miss. So after getting a couple of easy outs, the walk surrendered by Albers, 2 down and 1 on.
Wouldn't it be amazing if the Tigers lose the next 2, Minnesota wins the next 2, and it all comes down to Zach Greinke on Sunday? Arguably the best pitcher in the American League, maybe in baseball, the numbers he's put up as far as the earned run average.
Don't want to have to win against him.
No.
I mean, a have to win ball game. Ruiz up, and he fouls that one off. Randy Ruiz delivered a home run, his 10th. That came in the 4th inning. He is also flied out. Well, I guarantee you, the way the games are going tonight, it is going to come down to the final 2, and for the Tigers, all of a sudden it gets to be really scary.
Yeah, and you would think they'd like to clinch it and have Verlander available.
Yep.
To pitch early in the playoffs.
0-1 delivery, good jam shot right there. 0-2.
Does Randy Ruiz swing hard enough? I mean, this is like, just in case, I'm going to air it out.
Did last time.
Yes, he did. He did it the first time and popped it up.
He's on a real good streak now. Ruiz has hit safely in 5 ball games and is batting almost 500. He's 8 for his last 18 during the streak.
So let's see now that Matt Albers ran him off the plate where the next pitch is.
Slider down and away.
No, this is backing in.
Here's the 1-2 delivery, and that's going to be fouled off again. Stays at a ball and 2 strikes. Weeder's taking the hit on that one. Matt's delivered a homer in the ball game that right now is the game-winning RBIs in it. 1-2 delivery. There's the slider outside, and he chased, and he is gone. Alvarez gets a strikeout. No runs, no hits, no errors. One left on base. Orioles leading at 9-4.
Nothing in the 7th. The Twins lead the Royals 7-0 in the 2nd. And Major League Baseball's attendance has dropped across the board for the 2nd straight season. Also, players for the Major League players have voted to endorse Michael Weiner to replace Donald Fair as president of the Players Union. Gary?
And Amber, that choice by the players, one that Donald Fair had put forward, as he's worked with him in the office in New York, so the players agreeing with their present and soon to be former head of the union. Renicky came on and got out of the last inning, and now Dirk Hayhurst will come on to do the pitching. Just his 15th game.
Yeah, pitched pretty well. 3 earned runs over the last 20 2/3 innings this season. So he was another guy down at AAA Las Vegas. He's been up and down. 6 starts, 25 games down with the 51s. That's what they call their minor league team in Las Vegas. 4-6 with a 3.75 ERA.
Renicky worked an inning and a third. He gave up a couple of runs on the home run by Aubrey on 3 hits, no walks, 2 strikeouts. Matt Wieters, the homer, came in the 4th inning. He is 1 for 3 in the ball game. Matt now with a 5-game hit streak that he's extended in this ball game. And the 1-2 delivery to him, and that'll be a breaking ball that will miss inside. Hayhurst is a rookie, recalled on September 1 in Vegas. 6 starts, 25 games total. He was 4-6 with a 3.75 earned run average. 2-2 delivery on the way, and that one to short. Whoa, how about that? Well, it never ended up at short. Talk about a hop. There's one.
Yes, he said I never saw it. I mean, John McDonald's got great range. He just goes the other way. Look at that. He just never saw it. Man, he'll mouth to him, I never saw it. And so we saw the throw. And again, kind of not an off night. It's just a very aberrational night for him. He's such a good defensive player.
Wow.
Well, you don't see it, you can't catch it.
That's amazing, isn't it?
Maybe Brooks could have done that. Brooks Robinson could have.
Never saw the ball at shortstop on the ground. Here's Nick Markakis. So another single. Wieters gets credit with a base hit. 2 for 4 in the ball game. And Nick Markakis has a 3-hit ball game going with a double, 2 singles, 2 RBIs, and a run scored for Markakis. Well, he's trying to ramp it up here on the final 3-game series. Take Hood some good feelings with the bats for the off season.
Well, 1 RBI to 100.
1-0 pitch is taken inside to him. Nick now has 51 multi-hit ball games. He's had 14 games in which he has had 3 hits. And he's looking for his 4th 4-hit game of the year. 2-0 delivery to him on speed, and that's going to miss outside, and a 3-0 count. So Hayhurst working very carefully here and not in the strike zone. Left-handers hitting .316 against him. Right-handers 100 points lower. Strike taken. 3 ball, 1 strike count on Markakis with a runner on at first and nobody out. Orioles, who during that losing streak just couldn't score even 3 runs, opening this ball game up with 9 runs on 12 hits. Hayhurst 3-1 delivery and walked him. 2 on. Freeze Cam is brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer. The left-hander, the starter, the swing, right on the money. And that would be out of the yard. Into the seats and left. That came in the 4th inning. 9 on the season for Matt Wieters.
Yep, home run derby here. 4 home runs hit tonight, and not solos. 1 solo, but the rest of them 2- and 3-run variety. That'll get some runs on the board, as you noticed. 9-4, the Orioles.
And not done yet. Here's Ty Wigginton. 2 on and nobody out.
Yeah, Dirk Hayhurst, he's just about an inch or 2 off the plate. A little note in their guide talking about for Baseball America. He wrote the non-prospect diary.
He put himself in it?
Yes, he was one of them. 8th rounder back signed by San Diego, and then claimed back in 2003, claimed by the Blue Jays in 2008.
Not sure I'd want to make print that way, actually, but guess it worked.
Well, it got him drafted.
Got him drafted. Got him noticed, and here he is.
You can just see J.P. Ricciardi saying, you know, Dirk, I read your stuff. I like it. Now, let's translate that stuff to the mound.
1-1 delivery will be out of play. Ty Wigginton, RBI and a ground ball out, officially 0 for 3 in the ball game. The Orioles looking to add to it. Orioles have filled their side of the lineup card tonight with the 9 runs, 12 hits. They picked up 3 walks. Only 3 times have Orioles struck out in the ball game. Here's the 1-2 breaking ball. They want to check it first. They do. And Bill Hahn says nope.
Well,
and a 2 ball, 2 strike count.
Pretty obvious how they're trying to get Ty Wigginton out. Slider, slider, slider.
That has always been the pitch that opponents have used against Ty Wigginton, because he swings hard, and once he starts, it's going to be a cut, and those sliders away that he can't get to can be strikeouts. 2-2 delivery in the way. Wigginton hit that one, though, and that's going to be off the glove of Hill. They'll hold the runner at third, and the bases are loaded. Back in from Bautista. So it's short, McDonald, second, Hill. This has not been their night in the middle infield. That'll be a base hit.
Yeah, the ball comes up a little bit. It looked like Aaron Hill's going to catch it, but it just goes over the glove into right field. And again, Wieters, as Adam Jones told you, not the fastest guy. He's running on the play.
Here's a way from Melvin Moore to kind of have a memorable thought for the final maybe time he plays this weekend series. He's got the bases loaded, nobody out. Wieters a single, Markakis a walk, and Wigginton the RBI single. He has 3 career grand slams. And Melvin stands in here with another shot. One of those grand slams coming this year. And a towering pop-up. Second base. Infield fly rule is in effect. That will be handled by Hill. Mora retired, and 1 down.
Yeah, you bring that ball down 2-3 inches, and all of a sudden it becomes hittable. And that's really your charge as a hitter with the bases loaded. All the pressure was on Dirk Hayhurst. He's got to throw strikes. He's got to command the stuff, and then Melvin goes up there and swings at the ball just a little out of the strike zone, and you get the pop-up. If you take that pitch, it's 1-0.
Michael Avery has delivered a home run, his third of the year. Good for 2 RBIs. Came in the 5th inning. 2 on, 1 out. Avery will take the pitch for a ball. Bases loaded here with Wieters, Markakis, and Wigginton. Only the second time Aubrey's had the sacks full this season. Orioles up 9-4 and a chance to add to it. Here's the 1-0. He takes it in the air to right field. That ball is way back. Warning track wall. A grand slam home run. Michael Aubrey with his second homer of the ball game.
Swing as last time, same result. There's your Expo. 87 down the middle, and it goes sailing. Almost the exact place where it lands.
What a night for Michael Aubrey. The grand slam home run, the first of his career. A 2-homer ball game, 6 RBIs, and the Orioles have a 13-4 lead.
Another acquisition that is a former #1 draft choice by the Indians. And if you look at all the years that Michael Aubrey played for the Indians, he was hurt just about every year. So he didn't hit for a lot of power. It's not the case tonight, obviously. But again, he pretty good first baseman with a glove, and getting a bonus package tonight, don't you think?
And getting a long look.
Well, that's
from the Orioles and every other scout in the yard are watching on TV. Lou Montanez now with the bases empty, and that is a strike on the outside corner. Montanez is gone, so each of the pitchers for the Jays, Percy, Renicky, Hayhurst, have given up a homer.
Right there, target inside, fastball the other side of the plate, but it's on the plate. And of course, what they'll factor in, who's pitching. As you mentioned, what time of the year it is, where the pitches, can he hit Papelbon, can you hit Rivera? I mean, they look at all those things, and that's the way you judge players when you're trying to beat the best. Now he still has to go hit those. So to his credit, that's exactly what he did.
He's such the impressive thing, Fiorentino up. Aubrey is just the way he hits the ball, even when he makes outs. He's a real solid contact line drive hitter. 1-1 delivery, a towering pop up to center. Vernon Wells, and he puts it away. But the Orioles have a big 4-run 6th inning, highlighted by the second home run of the game, first grand slam ever for Michael Aubrey. Your famous Daves put on a tremendous barbecue spread, And the gang was out there before the broadcast tonight in the picnic area, enjoying some tremendous barbecue. I want to thank Famous Dave's. That's right. That's what yes, yeah. All right. And if they fed this crew, they did one heck of a job. Thanks to Famous Dave's and to the crew. Ground ball to short, backhanded by Torres. Long throw, got there in time. Travis Snyder. Turner has come on to play at second base as Roberts is out of the ball game. Justin Turner will get some innings in. One down, top half of the seventh inning. That'll bring up John McDonald. McDonald has picked up a couple of singles in the ball game, and will take the pitch from Albers for a strike. Albers came on in the sixth inning, gave up just one walk. And the pitch will move inside. A 1-ball, 1-strike count. Orioles' big offensive night. It's been a long time since the Orioles have had a 13-run, 14-hit ball game or anything even remotely close. 6 RBIs, Aubrey, doubling his best output of the year. This one's going to be taken by Torres again. Longer throw and a little too high.
Yeah, I think he had to hurry, which he does, because McDonald again, and I would think if I was scoring, I would say that's a base hit. And the reason is because he had to really hurry, and then Aubrey, he's trying to make sure he gets the throw. And you can see how quickly Cesar gets it out of his glove, and it is scored an error.
Yes. Yeah, I agree. Tough play.
Yeah. Either way.
So the error charged on Torres puts a runner on. First error of the ball game. Here's Phillips, the number 9 hitter. He has hit into a double play and flied out doing the catching. Left center field is nobody there, and that's going to fall in for a base hit. Big time jump McDonald. He's going to be held at third on a good relay throw to get it in. So long double for Phillips. His first hit of the ball game puts runners on at second and third with 1 out. Oriole fans, when it comes to tickets, you deserve Major League service. So go to StubHub, official fan-to-fan ticket marketplace of the Orioles. Matchups for the concluding 2 games.
Well, there they are. Scott Richmond, he struggled even though he won just last week. Hendrickson, his last 2 starts, left with leads in both of them. Both then for the Orioles couldn't hold it, and that was in that 13-game losing streak. And then Romero, one of the better young pitchers, against the Orioles' number 1 guy. Guthrie trying to win for the 11th time.
There's the leadoff batter, Jose Bautista. He has grounded out, walked and scored, and flied out to center field. 2 on, 1 down, couple in scoring position, in fact, and Bautista inside out to right. Marquez, the runner's going to tag. Throw will come. Runner goes back.
Yeah, that would have been nice. You know you're not sending him.
Big smile on McDonald's face, like, I'm not going anywhere.
No. Well, short porch and right here at Camden Yards, and a guy with an exceptional arm, and you're down by 9.
Nick Leyva down there had him get on the bag and then jog a couple of steps. So at least you draw the throw, and Marquez got it in. So 2 down. That'll bring up Hill. He has singled and scored, struck out and grounded out. Darren Hill's got a 4-game hit streak that he's extended here in this ball game. Albers' delivery to him, and that'll be taken inside for a ball. Races, of course, for the titles. Average, home runs, RBIs. This weekend, Mauer well on top for the batting average. Teixeira's tied Carlos Pena with 39 for the home run lead. Teixeira's 5 ahead of Jason Bay in the RBI lead with 121. Jacoby Ellsbury, 68 stolen bases, is 8 ahead of Carl Crawford in that department. Ichiro's got 221 hits. He will beat out Derek Jeter for the most hits in the league. That'll be fouled off, and counted 2 balls and 1 strike. Ichiro with 9+ 200 hit seasons. Wee Willie Keeler held the record for decades for 200 hit seasons, and Ichiro has passed him. 2 ball, 1 strike delivery on the way, and that is outside.
It seems like he just got here, and he will be. I can't imagine he's not going to be the first Japanese-born player in the Hall of Fame. I mean, he's just had a sparkling career. And it's not only the hits. It's the way he plays right field.
Runs the bases.
Something like 451 infield hits in those 9 years.
That's inside. That's going to load the bases up. And Encarnacion, the number 3 hitter, will be coming up. Rick Kranitz will be coming out.
See, when Matt gets in trouble, and in this inning, of course, you have the error, so he should be on the bench. And then you had a double that was in the air a long time in left center that dropped off the bat of Travis Snyder. But for me, as we look at Dennis Sarfati, if you're Matt Albers, you've got to figure out when the ball keeps running in to righties, and the guy that's stepping to the plate likes it on the inside half, how do I get the ball away? Part of it is he's way on the third base side, so he sets an angle to that inside corner. And it's very difficult. So to have success, your pitching coach can come out, but you've got to figure it out, because he can't come out there every pitch, as we know.
So now there are 3 on with 2 down. Encarnacion has already delivered a long ball, his 12th. That came in the 4th inning, and that was a 3 RBI homer. The Orioles had a 4-0 lead, and in the 4th, Toronto tied it up with that 3-run homer and a solo shot by Ruiz off Jason Birkin, the starter. The Orioles, though, would get it back, the lead that is, in the bottom half of that inning on the Wieters homer, and then extended it with a 4-run 6th inning. Orioles lead it 13-4. Encarnacion trying to get him back into the ball game here with 1 swing of the bat. And Albers trying to end the inning. The 0-2 delivery to him. 1 ball, 2 strike count.
So if you trust your breaking ball, and that's the way he was able to get Ruiz out early on, just bury it down and away. I mean, it's a great count. You still don't have to throw it for a strike. Just throw it a little bit out of the strike zone. Right
1-2 delivery, swung on and missed, and got him. So the bases are left loaded. 7th inning stretch time, brought to you by Jack Daniel's Tennessee Whiskey. Please drink responsibly.
Well, there's 3 back for Toronto. Encarnacion, then Ruiz ties it up 4-4. Matt Wieters, high changeup off Percy to make it 7-4. Aubrey all A's tonight with a 2-run shot to make it 9-4 Orioles. Juan Samuel with the handshake, and right here a grand slam, first of his major league career. Orioles by 9, 13-4. Birkin. As they would say on the bench, some guys get all the runs. He gets a lot of runs tonight, pitches well early, struggles a little bit in the 4th inning. Aubrey, what a night he's had, and then Matt Wieters. They really turned it around for the Orioles with that 3-run home run back in the 4th inning.
Fans up for the 7th inning stretch. Again, if you missed it, 5:30 press conference. The president of baseball operations for the Orioles, Andy McPhail, making the announcement that Dave Tremblay will be back to manage next season, as the Orioles have exercised the 2010 option on his contract. Dave Tremblay said a decision on the coaches will be made next week, now that he'll have an opportunity to talk to them. Here's Justin Turner getting his first at bat. McPhail saying that the Orioles have moved out of this so-called phase one. Young players teaching second base, hauled in by Hill. Now time to talk about wins and losses. He said meaningful, and that's his term. Improvements are needed. That the number of games lost this season is not palpable for next year, and that managers, coaches will now be judged on how many games they win.
And how do you develop young players? And how did they develop them this year? Your coaching staff. So we'll see whether they come back or not.
He left that to the manager. He was asked about it, and he said that's the manager's decision. When it comes to coaches, he said, I maintain the ultimate veto power, he said, but I can't imagine that happening. So it'll be up to Dave Tremblay to decide who he wants working with him to start next season. Cesar Izturis, big night, 3-hit ball game, 3 for 4. He has scored 3 runs, 2 singles, a double, 3 runs scored, and a stolen base. A big night hitting in the number 2 spot for Izturis.
Yeah, even the out was a line drive.
Up the middle, off the glove. And Izturis, Hayhurst able to hang on to that one and get him for the out. A new Orioles tradition begins this spring. Your birds will fly south to the new spring training home in Sarasota, Florida. Orioles.com. If you go there now, sign up to receive the very latest news on tickets and travel packages. Then make your plans to enjoy the sun and fun of spring training 2010 in Sarasota. Visit Orioles.com for all the details. Izturis out of there, 2 down. 1 strike count now on Wheatus. A home run is 9th and a single. He has scored 2 runs and driven in 3.
Probably 1 hit away from 300 at 296.
So when you think about it, it's pretty amazing, isn't it?
It really is. Well, I noticed what, this is what you try to do when you pitch, is how guys swing, and you come out and watch you taking batting practice. When you're looking at the opposition, you look at all the film now. Right there, a little bit around it. So Hayhurst will get out of this inning.
Hill makes the play. 1, 2, 3 innings, 7 complete here at Camden Yards. The Orioles on top 13-4. And players were the young pitchers who came on to get their first chance and came away with their first wins. The Orioles had rookie pitchers start 96 of 160 games. The Orioles 35-60 in those previous efforts. And more importantly, of course, the experience gained by the arms that will be expected to lead the staff next year.
Yeah, tremendous learning process. You look at Brian Mattis, he will spend the winter as he did last year. He lives in Scottsdale, so he'll go to the Athlete's Performance and get stronger, bigger.
Orioles make some defensive changes as Robert Andino will now play second base. Justin Turner, who was there, moves over to third. Yamil Rodriguez will come on to do the work behind the plate with Wheatus coming out of there. And Dennis Sarfati on to do the pitching.
He has been pitching well. And again, this is an audition. Throws the ball very well. Just appears to me pitching a little bit more under control. The fractured clavicle last year, circulatory problems early on, struggled with his velocity early on, but that's come back.
Sarfati goes to work here for Matt Albers. Albers worked a couple of innings. He gave up no runs on a hit, walked 2, struck out 1. Vernon Wells 0 for 3. Wells over Bay and Ruiz up, and a towering fly ball to shallow center. Fiorentino. He's got it. Wells is retired. 1 down in the 8th inning. Time to text in your vote for the AT&T Player of the Game. Here are the candidates tonight. Nick Markakis, who's had a 3-hit night on every time up. Wieters, who's had a 2-hit night, 3 RBIs, a big homer. And Aubrey, who's had a career night, 2 home runs, including his first career grand slam, 6 RBIs. Text in your vote, A, B, or C, to 51862. 1 down, Lyle Overbay. 0 for 2 and a walk tonight. Strike from Sarfati. 6-game winning streak of Toronto on the line here, and the Orioles trying to make it a couple in a row and get their 7th win of the season against the Blue Jays. 0-1 pitch is down low. 1 ball, 1 strike count. Back here tomorrow night, more fan appreciation activity will be taking place. Outback Steakhouse gift certificates will be given out. And you'll have a chance to be selected maybe to throw out the first pitch, go out on the field with the players for the national anthem. That one is popped up, shallow left. Shortstop, maybe? Nope. Coming on to make the play, Montanez. Overbay out, 2 down.
Well, you're seeing Sarfati at his best. 2 good fastball hitters, Wells and Overbay. Makes real good pitches, especially to Wells right on the outside corner. Boy, you got to like this because you're looking for arms. You are looking for people who can get hitters out.
And everybody out there in that bullpen knows it. So here's your chance. Here is Randy Ruiz, as we said, veteran who's called up from the AAA ball club out of the Bronx, New York. He's 31 years old. And coming into this season, Ruiz had appeared in, let's see, 22 major league games with Minnesota last year. Wow, you talk about paying your dues. Played in Clinton, Billings, Dayton, Stockton, Frederick, Delmarva, Lakewood, Reading, Wichita, Trenton, Ottawa, Connecticut, Rochester.
Sounds like you're a conductor on a railroad.
Sticker on his bags.
Next station, Altoona.
Well, look, you know, but he's made a living at it. He's played baseball and made a living out of it.
And you know, the dream. The dream
Exactly.
of getting to the big leagues and then show them that you're not a 4A guy. That's between AAA and the big leagues, and done a nice job in September.
3 ball, 1 strike count.
And you know he's going to attack this fastball. The rain comes down a little bit. On and off all night long. I mean, this is a great hitter's count. Let's see what he does with it.
Sarfati's delivery, a high heater, and he went after it.
Yeah, Dennis Sarfati, I think self-described would say, you know, I get a little bit too amped up. And he's calmed down a little bit. Mechanics a little bit better. He knows it. He overthrew that one a little bit, but he chased it. So now make a good pitch.
3-2 delivery on the way, and a ground ball foul. That actually went off his foot in the batter's box. And for about the 4th time, the fans begin the move back.
Yeah, this rain a little heavier than it's been all night long. Rick Kranitz made a very good point. He makes a lot of good points, but down in Tampa Bay, he said for some pitchers, what happens, especially when you're young, you make a good pitch like that, and Ruiz fouls it off. Can you repeat it again? And for young guys, that's hard to do.
And he walked him. That one may have slipped a little bit.
Well,
it's getting wet.
If it's ever going to slip, it's going to slip right now because the mound's wet, where you push off, where you land, the ball, your hands.
We have been playing this with, I think this is the 4th shower, and they haven't lasted longer than literally a minute. And you better believe everybody here is hoping that's the same case for this one.
Yeah, we usually look at the grounds crew, and they're
Nowhere to be seen.
Calmly sitting out there in right center field here at Camden Yards.
That one is swung on and missed. 2 down, runner on at first base. Snyder. He has grounded out a couple of times. 0 for 3 overall in the ball game, making the start in left field tonight. Travis Snyder, delivery to him, will be foul back. Orioles trying to get the win for Birkin, who would get his 6th of the year. David Percy is the pitcher of record. Only 3 2/3 innings, 7 runs on 8 hits against Percy, the starter for the Jays. Snyder's been up, a rookie, 41 games, played at AAA. Swung out and missed, and he is gone. So Sarfati gets it done. No runs, no hits, no errors. A base runner left on, with the Orioles leading 13-4. For the program and a special pre-event cocktail reception. Proceeds benefit the Sports Legends Museum, and $5 from each ticket will go to the American Cancer Society. 410-727-1539, extension 3033. That coming up on the Monday, 26 October. Rain still coming down, but obviously umpiring crew and everybody else going to try and get through this. Brian Wolf out of the bullpen to pitch.
Yeah, he comes on, another one of their pitchers. Look at the numbers right there. 25 hits, 14 1/3 innings. You know, walks 1 every 2 innings, and started the year again at AAA Las Vegas. He's been up and down. Last year in 20 games for the Blue Jays, and the rain getting very heavy now. They put out, and they're going to put the tarp on.
So they tried, but Mother Nature not cooperating. So Wolf will head off. It is, I mean, it's just raining too hard to play in those earlier showers. Nothing like this. Bill Hahn at first base is the crew chief, and wisely and necessarily gets the ground crew out. The hope will be that this will let up in a hurry. They're just covering for the moment here the plate and the mound.
Well, again, the shower's just in and out so much, and Nicole Sherry must have said, well, it's just passing through quickly.
Yep, and if they put the tarp out, then it takes that much longer to get it off and get the field ready to go. So I don't know if they're going to put the tarp out or just wait and see if this goes by and hope that by covering the plate and the mound.
Yeah, the full complement of ground crew is not out yet, so yeah. Here comes Nicole Sherry. She's probably going to talk to the umpires who are waiting behind home plate. It's going to blow by. The decision you have to make, of course, is you don't want the dirt to get wet. The grass is drained. They've got a great drainage system here, as they do at all new ballparks.
Cole's done a great job talking with the other night. It's been a real tough summer. Some of the homestands here, there have just been nights where the rain has come and gone and come and gone, and the crew's been out there for long extended times removing and putting back the tarp. So Cole, sure, it's a tough call, and the umpires make it, but they rely on her and the crew to decide when it needs to come out, and she's always keeping track of the weather.
And you have the radar to do that.
Yep.
But sometimes
showers
have more
takes a mind of its own.
Yes, it does. And the dilemma for the umpires is they don't want the field to become unplayable. Or maybe they do.
It's going to rain a bit here, but they are hopeful that they don't have to put the tarp out. So we'll see. It is 13-4. Orioles are on top, and we'll be back in just a minute.
better? Yeah. Brian, did he get better? Yeah. Jones, he was an all-star. Yeah. Oh, what about Mattis? Oh, he did okay. What about this PA? Oh, most people had him released in May. He did pretty good. I thought the guys who were supposed to get better got better. I thought that's what my job was.
And Danny McPhail said yes, it was, and yes, they did, and we're picking up the option in your bag next year. And we're back to play some baseball. 13-4. We're in the bottom half of the 8th inning. Nick Markakis standing in. The Orioles had just started the bottom half. Markakis did not take a pitch, so there's the first one. And Brian Wolf on the mound. Markakis has had a double, 2 singles, a walk, 2 runs scored, and 2 RBIs. Big night for Nick Markakis. Here's the 1-0 delivery to him, and that'll be taken for a strike. 1-1.
Yeah, pretty much what you expect from him. I know it's pretty demanding, but he's an awfully good young player. And one thing you can't ever forget, he's only 25 years old.
One more RBI to hit that magical 100 mark with the 2 that he's picked up in the ball game tonight. 1-1 delivery by Wolf, and that's going to skip, as did the feet of Brian Wolf.
Yeah, he kind of swings his leg, and when he does, you swing it back, and all of a sudden you're slipping all over the place. Good night to be able to pick up that front leg and then put it down in the same spot. Otherwise, you will not make quality pitches. It's impossible.
23-minute rain delay.
And the rain's coming back now, so.
Yeah. Cole Sherry knows that there's more to come, and that's why they didn't cover the entire field. They're just hoping they can get these final outs to get through this ball game with the Orioles up 13-4. Sometimes that becomes even more difficult when everybody's pressing, still wanting to play, but not wanting to extend it. Brian Wolf trying to throw some strikes here. 2-2 delivery to Markakis, and Nick goes down swinging.
A pretty good sinker right there. Bottom dropped out of it. And watch this fastball. At least I think it's a fastball. Low target. Ball starts and then sinks at 93 right out of the zone. That's one of the better sinkers you're going to see.
Wolf appearing for the 14th time. He's got a 2-2 record. 8.79 ERA.
Yeah, the one number that jumps out, lefties came in. So getting Markakis out 12 for the last 26. There's another low strike.
Wolf called up from AAA. Wigginton has had a single, run scored, RBI. He has also flied out, struck out. He has extended his hit streak to 4 games and will top that one foul. So the Orioles, if they can hang on here, get 3 more outs, will move a step closer to the couple of wins they need to ensure they do not reach that 100 loss mark. Chris Ray in the bullpen getting ready to go.
Well, pretty cut and dry, isn't it? They got to win 2 out of 3.
Easy.
Yeah.
Get down to this close, you can see the end of the tunnel. 0-2 count. And that'll be grounded towards second base. Hill throws it over to get the out, and there are 2 away. Let's update you on the voting for the AT&T Player of the Game, and you still have time to vote. Nick Markakis way out on top, followed by Wieters and Aubrey. You can text in your vote. Do A, B, or C at 51862. The results will be coming up. The O's Extra post-game show.
I hope Michael Aubrey doesn't take that personally. He's going to be thinking, what do I got to do?
He may have a late surge. Brian Roberts out of there. Lollipop at hand. 2 away, ground ball, second base, hit hard. Hill gets in front of it, and the out retired on Andino, getting his first at bat of the ball game. So the Orioles 3 outs away from the victory as we go to the 9th. We go to the ninth inning. The Orioles coming off the 3-2 victory against Tampa Bay last night that got them out of the 13-game losing streak. Now look to make it 2 wins in a row, and Chris Ray will be on to try and finish it off.
Yeah, really trying to finish the year better than it's gone. I mean, it had been spurts. He had a chance to ride back down to Tampa Bay to the hotel in the shuttle, and he said, you know, last year, Tommy John surgery, missed just about the whole year, didn't really have his off-seed program, but for him, and he's only going to turn 28 in January, got to get lefties out. So if he stays right there, that'll take care of business. But lefties come in with great success. 34 for 77, well over 400.
John McDonald fouls it away. McDonald has had 2 singles, and he has reached on an error in the ball game. Sarfati worked an inning, gave up a walk, and struck out 1. Matt Albers 2 innings, 1 hit, 2 walks, and a strikeout. And Jason Birkin, the Orioles starter, a chance to get his 6th win. 4 runs, 5 hits over 5 with a walk and a strikeout.
I think the one thing, and Chris was talking about it on the ride back to the hotel, was that the tilt on his slider and the splitter almost non-existent. He can't get on top of his pitches. Arm feels good, even though he did have some shoulder problems. Put him on the DL. So movement, location, or maybe a winter of rest and rehab and get the whole body in shape and be a totally different guy. At least the Orioles would hope that going into spring training.
1-2 delivery, and that one towards center field is going to fall in for a base hit. So John McDonald leading it off with his 3rd hit of the ball game. Leadoff man on in the 9th against Ray. Phillips batting 9th, and then Bautista at the top of the order due up as the Orioles look to end Toronto's 6-game win streak with a victory here in game 1 of the 3-game series. Batting 9th, Phillips has had a double, hit into a double play, and flied out to left field. Not going to hold the runner at first with a big lead on a lefty up. David Percy could be the loser. He gave up 7 runs and 8 hits over 3 2/3 with 2 walks and a strikeout. Just not effective tonight. Orioles have had homers off Percy, Renicky, and Hayhurst. 3 of the first 4 pitchers used by Toronto.
Yeah, it looked like David Percy was settling down, and then the high changeup. 6th pitch at bat by Matt Wieters, the 3-run home run, really turned the game around.
1-1 delivery, swung out a miss. And a 1-ball, 2-strike count.
Yeah, the Orioles don't score 10 or more runs very often. They did it back on the 19th of July. Guthrie pitched that game. Tillman got 16 runs on the 14th of August. Birkin got 13. And then Tillman got 10 again when they played the Yankees. So it just doesn't happen a whole lot.
Best description of that kind of an offense, Tampa Bay's Joe Madden, while we were down there, called it clumpy. I've never heard that before. Said we have a clumpy offense. We tend to score a lot of runs at one time, and then they go away for a few games. Then we get a bunch of runs. Clumpy. Here's the 1-2 delivery on the way, and that'll be taken inside. 2-ball, 2-strike count on Phillips.
Well, speaking of Joe Madden, have you ever heard about, and you might have because you're a lawyer or a former lawyer, paradoxical intent? Where you go out, the guy's hanging a lot of sliders, you go out and say, hang some more.
That one in the air, hit hard, center field. Fiorentino going back, warning track wall. That's going to hit off the top of the wall. Backed up by Nick Markakis. 1 run will score. McDonald all the way from first on the RBI double by Phillips, and he's had 2 doubles in the ball game, and it is a 13-5 game.
Yeah, that ball almost got out of here, and again the inability for Chris Ray to make a quality pitch. You look at the radar gun, you say, well, there's no reason he shouldn't get guys out in mid-90s, but they're just up. You know, flat slider, maybe a splitter to McDonald, and then just a fastball in the middle of the plate to Phillips.
Well, Toronto still nobody out here in the 9th inning. Top of the order, Bautista. He's had a walk and scored. Grounded out once, flied out a couple of times in the ball game. Jose Bautista with a runner on at second base. Ray will get the strike on the outside corner. That'll miss outside. The Orioles 13 runs on 14 hits tonight. The Jays, who came in with that hot offense, have picked up 5 runs on 8 hits. Adam Lynn did not play tonight. It was right there with Hill in the top 10 in homers and RBIs. The Orioles did not have to face Lind in the ball game. They did Hill, and he picked up a single and a walk in the ball game. Ray with a 2-1 count. This Toronto offense scores some runs, 4th most in the American League.
Yeah, 3rd most home runs.
That's a high slider, and the count goes to 3-1, and the Orioles are going to have to get bullpen action going again in the 9th inning. Castillo, the left-hander.
Well, I'm sure they have every intent of taking every out they can and trying to get as many runs as they can.
That one in the air to left center field, hit hard and deep, back at the wall, and goodbye home run. Bautista delivers a 2 RBI homer off Ray. That'll be number 12 on the year for Bautista, and it's a 13-7 game.
That is now the 9th home run. Way back in 2004, the Orioles drafted Major League drafts where you have to keep him all year long, Jose Bautista. And again, just too much of the middle of the plate. Not enough movement. Rick Kranitz is going to come out, have a little talk.
So the home run derby continues. Both teams putting up the long ball as Birkin surrendered 2 home runs in the 4th inning to Encarnacion and 1 to Ruiz, and now Bautista gets the home run off Ray here in the 9th inning. 12 home runs and 39 RBIs. 3 up, 3 on, and 3 in against Ray in the 9th.
So now that is, and the game's not over, 28 home runs in the last 11 games. And this guy can hit them with the best of them.
Now you got the middle of the order. Here is Hill, who has the single, a walk, grounded out and struck out. 4-game hit streak for him. Foul that one away. 13-7 lead for the Orioles.
And normally the more runs you give up, the harder you try, and when you try harder, the ball straightens out. Hard to be relaxed when you're not pitching well.
Slider will be taken outside.
And right there he slips and misses down and away.
Hill 3rd in homers, 6th in RBIs. 2-1 delivery to him on a check swing. Did he go? Check it first. No. And it's a 3-ball 1-strike count, and the few Oriole fans who are left here mumbling a bit about Chris Ray.
Well, that's probably the best slider he threw, and didn't get the call, didn't get the swing.
3-1 delivery, and he walked him. So Ray surrenders the walk. He hasn't gotten anybody out of the 4 faced, and that'll be it for Chris Ray. He works no part of an inning. He'll be charged with 3 hits, a walk so far, 3 runs, and will be responsible for the base runner on at first. Encarnacion has also delivered a home run in the ball game. Will be coming up here in the 9th for Toronto with a runner on and nobody out.
I got a key out, and then Baez came in and pitched the 8th inning. He got him out of the 7th inning, so it's not exactly matchup time for Alberto Castillo.
Runner on at first. This is game number 19. He gets the cheer for throwing a strike. 2.53 ERA, 10 2/3 innings, 12 hits. He has 6 strikeouts, 4 walks in the 10 2/3 worked. The 0-1 delivery, a breaking ball that is in for a strike as well to Encarnacion.
Yeah, definitely thrown. Just started off the corner, and your closer is up. Who would have ever thought that? 13-4 going into the 9th. Now Jimmy Johnson's up and throwing. Saved last night.
Good scoop. Rodriguez having to do a little knee walking on that one, and a 1-ball 2-strike count. Encarnacion delivered. That was home run number 12. 3 RBI shot that made it a 1-run ball game. Ruiz would follow in that inning with a homer that would tie it up at the time, 4-4. And he goes as he chased that one.
But if you make quality pitches, it doesn't matter if you're lefty righty. Boy, that's what you really hope of, a guy that can get both righties and lefties out. Just to, again, good fastball hitter at the plate. You get ahead of him, and then you make him expand the zone. He's a dead red fastball hitter inside middle. Didn't get that to hit.
Vernon Wells, the cleanup batter, has had an 0 for 4 in the ball game. 1 on the ground, 3 in the air, and takes the pitch away. Runner still at first base and 1 out. We're in the 9th. The Orioles have the 13-7 lead. There's Hill, who picked up the walk. 1-0 pitch, grounded to short, backhanded by Torres. Turner, though, throw over to first, and this one is in the book for the O's. They make it 2 in a row as they open up the final weekend at home with the 13-7 win. Birkin will get the victory, 6-12.